something, and this sound should come in right now as we go in right now. Let me make sure this sound is there because this is actually highly irritating. But when we dealing with fools and you dealing with idiots and you dealing with people where they want to sit there and see, in most of them, what they love to do is they want to say they can sympathize with you, but this don't happen to them. And this is why I said, link to your people, talk to your people, tell them to come over here because we're going to have a conversation on this one. Because I'm going to show you something that actually going to shock many people. Actually, what I'm also do is make sure that people can actually even get here and even speak on it, because it's actually going to upset a lot of people if they have not seen this. So I want to show it to you. So I want to make sure that they can actually get the link to this. In 1 second, I want to make sure because this is. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I want to make sure. 1 second. Want to get to, let me get to back to Zoom. I want to put that link in there. I want to put the link in the bottom to where you can actually click in here and go into it, because I'm going to tell you, it's highly irritating. And everybody, I will call Florida. I will call them and literally get in their butt, because, well, they already heard one. They're going to hear it from me again, because I'm going to show you the stupidity really that Gentiles have, because you literally ain't gonna believe this. 1 second. And see, and they just sent me this, and I was actually getting ready to go eat, but that's so I can eat later. Always got time to eat. I can eat at any time, so it don't even matter. But I want you to send links to your people to show them the silliness with Gentiles and how they set up. So I'm putting this in here. This, if you want to come in on the backside. But let me show you this. Let me pull this video up. Let me pull the video up. Let me get this up real quick to where you can see it. I want you to see this. The silliness on what people do. And please just, it's highly irritating. Highly irritating. I want you to see this, because you have these fools. They arrested a little Hebrew girl. She threw a temper tantrum at school. So the common sense thing you'll do is, if she's being unruly like that is what she's doing, the common thing you'll do, you'll call her parents, tell the parents come pick her up. Technically what you do. They didn't do that. These idiots, these fools, I'm talking about, I have other words I would love to use on them. You're going to see it for yourself, what they did. I need you to see for what these fools did. And I'm going to show this actually a couple of times to where you can see what this fool did, to where you can see it. And I got it here in 1 second. They got it here. Let me make sure I can get this there. And here's the video.
The desert goes.
Okay, she's gonna come with us now.
Okay, fine. We gotta go with them, baby girl.
Stand up.
They are arresting this a 6-year-old girl.
It's for you.
Your head, okay? Come over here.
Let's go.
You got me a puppy too, okay?
Come on, let's go.
Tell me what happened, okay?
They put this little girl in handcuffs. She's 6. No, this little girl was having a little tantrum in school. This is the little girl. No, she threw a temper tantrum in school. So this is the problem that we go through. But the problem is happening today. See, same thing. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter. And this happened, Orlando will completely be shut down. See, this here is, I'm talking about silliness to its fullest. I'm talking about, see, and a lot of times is what we try to do. It sounds same thing like we got Deacon DeFrost talking about the child had a gun in his backpack. No, that ain't what happened. But what they're trying to do is cover stuff. But you had these dang Gentiles will sit there. You done seen them come now. They come with guns, knives, and everything else. However, they're not done in that manner. They're not done in that manner. But we try to justify for them to do something. See, just like I said, that couldn't have been my daughter. If I would have been my daughter, either I'd be dead or in jail. Because that cop would have had a problem. And so, well, see, it goes right back to it. Same thing. Gentile whites, other ones, childs have guns come into schools. They don't even do that to them at all. So we have a problem that's going on. We have a problem that these people do. We have a problem that is, well, did this child have this? That's silliness. The girl is 6 years old. See, this is what we had dwindled this down to where we're trying to justify them for doing our kids in this manner. That's silliness to its fullest. Because just like I say, if nobody do anything now, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. So these are the things that we just go through. These are things that just continually happen. These are the things that we continually see, and people choose not to do anything about it. So this is the problem that we have. 1 second. Because this here is complete, I don't know what you want to say, complete silliness. And I'm talking about the same thing from the police department down are complete fools. And seeing the parents don't do it. See, because please, boy, let that happen to my child. And she was 6. And that's unreal. Unreal. Yeah, Brother Smalls. Brother Smalls, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Yes, yes.
1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Let me let this click in. 1 second. I want to make sure that this can click in. Can you speak? There you go. I just heard some stuff. There you go.
Oh, you got me?
Got you.
Yes. You know, I had almost a similar problem with my son a couple of weeks ago in his school, where a Gentile hit him in the face with a whiteboard, and my son defended himself and took into the kid. They called me, and when they got me there, they were upset because the other child apologized, and my son said, "I have no regrets." They were upset about that. So I thought you were a follower of Christ. Should you be trying to tell me that we should teach something different? But instead of getting in the case of that other child for hitting my son, it don't work like that. And it's the same case there because they expect us to be sorry all the time.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Instead of taking blame for what they're actually not doing. And this is why I'm in the process of working on doing homeschool with my kids.
Yeah, I got see, because I'm telling you, this when they sent me this had me livid. And the same thing, like I told people before. Yeah, I want to show you something. I want you to see this. 1 second. Actually, my wife haven't seen it. I want to just show it. I want to click it over for my wife to see it. She's 6. Keep this in mind. She's 6.
The desert.
I just want. I'm actually going to show. I'm showing it to my wife right now. So 1 second.
She's gonna have to come with us now.
Yeah,
All right, we
1
gotta go
second.
with them, baby girl.
Stand up. Okay, come over here.
I want you to see this.
It's for you.
Put your hand, okay?
6.
It's not gonna hurt. It's all right.
6.
Let's go.
Your grandma can come pick you up, okay?
See, but they blur. But you see, they blurring that fool out. They blurring the cop out
You can tell me what happened.
because they don't want you to see his name. They put her in. She's 6. Oh no, huh? No, she threw a temper tantrum in school. No, this is on the news. Not straight. Not scared straight. No, well, no, we online. We online. We on. See what they need to do. Take white kids and do white kids this way. Yes. Okay. Okay.
A disciplinary action, and it's wrong the way they do it, but I guarantee
Yep.
she won't do another case.
No, I guarantee you, if it was me, I'd be in dead or in jail.
Well, yeah.
Guaranteed. In dead or in jail if they would have did my child or my grandchild in that manner. Okay, Brother John.
Oh, yes. They, I asked about this particular thing here in Texas, and I was told a child has to be like 10 to 11 years old. And I heard about that. And nothing really happens to them in the long run. That's why I always tell people, separate yourselves from them. Don't ever expect them to treat you the same way.
Exactly. See, it's the same thing when my kids was little. And see, if people like to sit there and that's why I say the same thing with that dumb Martin Luther King. See, he'll tell you to turn the other cheek and that was okay. See, he'll clear that. However, as I tell people, same as with my daughter, she was about 7 years old. And this person, I stayed in the area where it's predominantly white. But you get them, Gentiles, even though it's a leash law in California, what they like to do is keep their dogs off a leash. They like to walk their dogs and think it's okay. So one day I was coming in and my daughter was outside in the front, but this one lady, she liked to let her dog go and just run around. And the dog chased my daughter because that's what he liked to do. My daughter don't know the lady or the dog. So the same thing is when I ran up on to get it, she had grabbed the dog and her son grabbed it. So then I went off on her. And as I said, and I make myself clear, I said, see, if she would have ran into the street, one, you and the dog would be dead. It's a zero-sum game. Then they decide to call the police, which the police came, white, Gentiles, and same as I told them. I said, I'm not threatening her. I'm giving her a fact. And that her son came out, I said, because if she run into the street, I'm going to tell you right now, you would have came and you would have seen 2 people not here and a dead dog. Because they want to value things. And as I told them, I told the cop, if I ever see this dog off a leash and I'm in the area, that dog is dead. Because this is what that dog does. See, the dog called itself running up on me one time, and the dog didn't like the outcome. The outcome was he got kicked in the air because I don't play with people, and I don't play with people because people like to keep their dogs off a leash and they like to walk them around. Same with this cop. This cop going to sit there, going to come. In common sense was, he just should have told them, call her parents, have her parents come pick up the girl, and been done. But besides that, they want to handcuff her and take her and call themselves taking her to jail. My wife saying they could do a scare straight, just like I said, I'd be dead or in jail, because that wouldn't have never happened, especially even with that cop, because I couldn't even know the cop that did it, because he can't, there's nothing they can explain to me to justify that issue, because the first thing they have to do is let me see them do a Gentile like that, because you're
They
not going
won't.
to see it.
They
Yeah,
won't.
you're not going to see it.
There was a video out where that Gentile was walking around, running around naked, and they were trying to console him. If there were one of us, they would have shot us down.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Where
haven't seen it.
Gentiles running around naked. Cops are chasing them. They didn't even sick the dog on them. And there
Yeah.
were us. Fecal matter and everything on them. They didn't shoot them down. They treated them like a human being.
Yeah, and that's what they do. So the same thing is when
Was that the Gentile?
what you say, brother? What did you say?
It went out. I didn't hear anything get out.
I didn't hear anything. Yeah, Elder T. Elder T.
Yeah, shalom, Elder.
Hey, Shalom, how you doing, my brother?
Shalom, my brothers. How you all doing?
Shalom.
Man, we good.
Yeah, my comment is that I just showed that to my wife, and you know that she's in law enforcement. I'm not going to say what, but she said the officer was wrong. Being married to someone that's in law enforcement, he was wrong. And she told me of a story when she was an officer in New York, that you had a young boy who was skipping school and acting belligerent. And she said all she did was put him in the car and just took him to his mom.
Yeah.
And
You can even do that. I'm not gonna put him in cuffs.
exactly. It's about authority and power. And that individual, yeah, something needs to be said and done about that. That was just told. Because she said the girl is what, how old is she? You said she was what, 6?
6.
She's
She
not
was
committing no crime, not assaulting no one or anything.
No.
That was just pure ignorance, and it should be an outrage about that.
Oh yeah, and see, and our biggest problem is, and this is what I have a problem with. You will have people in power that downplay this, and this is the issue. They wanted to discuss it, but my thing is, see, same thing. I called that police department and told them they end up hanging up, but same thing I told them. I'm gonna tell you exactly who I am, and tell you, and I give you my address if you need it. But you guys ain't nothing but a bunch of bumbling fools and racists. Because just as I told them, I wish you do that to my granddaughter. I come down there and I dare you to do that to my granddaughter. I dare you to do that. You know, and the reason why it's so outrageous, because if you take one of their children and do that, I tell you right now, they will turn this country upside down. You do one of their child that way, in that manner. And let it be one of us that did it.
Elder Johnson,
Yeah.
I just sent you that video. It shows you how they treat their own people being arrested. That's what they do to their people.
Okay. 1 second. I got Brother Durrell real quick. I'm gonna pour that up while they doing that. Let me see.
Hey, Elder, how you doing? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, my brother.
Okay, good. Hey, I noticed that video. I saw it yesterday at work. I think if you look at it closely, the crazy thing is that the school administrator was a Hebrew and all the cops were Hebrews.
I tell you what,
Everybody.
he'll be right now.
They shouldn't have put those tie straps on that little kid. That's ridiculous, you know. And she's traumatized now, you know. And this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I tell you what happened. Even with that, I can even tell you incident, even where my son, he same thing, he was about 6 or 7, but he had drunk he loaded himself up on punch and he had to go to the restroom a couple times. So they used to go to the bathroom buddies. So he wanted to go, he used the restroom, then he had to use the restroom again. The teacher wouldn't let him. Now, mind you, I come home from the office. He's at home from school now. But then my daughter couldn't wait to tell me. And they all little. And then he told me that the teacher wouldn't let him use the restroom. He had to hold it. I went up to the school, took him with me. And then I said, I need to talk to the principal. They say, yeah, what's about? So yeah, they didn't let him use the restroom. They said, okay, well, they in the meeting. I'll say, okay, that's fine. Can you call the police department? Because I'm getting, all of a sudden, meetings ain't happening. All of a sudden, it wasn't a meeting. All of a sudden, the teacher come as well as the principal. But when they came out, I said, but I still need the police call. If not, I'm gonna call them on my cell phone because they need to be there. Because I'm telling the teacher the same thing. I say, the only thing that's keeping me from you is how they kind of got you in between them. Because literally, if I can get to you, I will literally choke you out. So when the cop got there, I wanted to file, one, I filed harassment against my child. 2, I filed child abuse, and they was trying to keep me from doing it. But I told them, I said, no, I'm going to file this. I said, because the main thing is, if my child had to use the restroom 3 or 4 times, you let them go to the restroom.
Right.
It don't matter. I'm not going to let you choose when they're going to use the restroom or not. So, in all of them sitting in there is Gentiles, but I'm very upfront about what I say. So the same thing when they were sitting there talking, they were saying, well, I say, see, you do your children like that. Don't you do mine. Y'all white, y'all do what y'all want to do with y'all kids. Don't do my kids like that. Because when you do my kid like that, I'm going to come. When I'm come, you're not going to like me coming here. Because right now, as the cop is here, just like I said, if he would have had an accident on himself right now, the cop would be up here arresting me because it's a fact. He's going to be hurt or dead. Don't play with my child, because my thing is, just because you guys feel that you have docile Hebrews that choose not to protect their child, I'm not one of them. I'm going to protect my child.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Was that school a charter school or was it a public school?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
All I
I'm not
saw,
sure.
like I said, when I saw the initial video, which is crazy anyway, because this is a charter school and it's all Hebrews, and it should be handled totally different too. So it wouldn't be like even a Gentile calling the cops. It was like Hebrews calling the cops on Hebrew kids, and a little kid at 6 years old is not a threat,
Man,
and
kid
kids
acting up,
have
kid acting
issues.
up. Yeah, kid acting up. Guess what? I'm gonna call your parents. Hey,
Right. Come take them home or whatever.
Well, I'm at work. I can care less what. Your kid up here acting the fool, cutting the monkey, come get your kid. I'm done. And then I'm gonna let them know. Your kid come up here tomorrow, acting the fool, cutting the monkey. Guess what? Now I'm gonna suspend the kid. The kid can't come here for like a couple of days.
Couple of days, right. There's
Come
other
back,
means than calling the
yeah.
police.
Yeah, kids still acting them fool when they come in there. Guess what? Now I'm gonna suspend them a little bit longer. I tell them the next time the kid come in here acting up like that, guess what? I'm kicking the kid out of school. I'm done. It's that simple. I don't have to sit there at one time, call a cop. I don't have to one time sit there and this. Even though when we was younger, teachers had permission to whoop my butt.
Yeah, the paddle right there.
Yeah, so if we sat there and acted up, they had permission to whoop us. So, but you don't, at no time you sit there where you got to sit there and say to a 6-year-old kid, 6, we're going to arrest you.
And the question is, what's the rationale in the police? And you're an adult police officer. A 6-year-old poses no threat. Why are you gonna put tie straps or cuffs on the child? That doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, no, they put the kid in cuffs because you can even hear where it clicked.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna say either way, you binding, it's like slavery. You're gonna put some binds on a child's arms and then
yeah. So
yeah,
that,
ridiculous.
but the main thing is, as a people, everyone should be outraged at that.
Oh, of course. We should not be
Everyone.
docile as a people on
Yeah,
this.
yeah, that's yeah. And what we like to do, we like to be docile and sit there like same thing. Like I said, I couldn't have came up in the 50s and the 40s where they were spraying water on. That couldn't have happened with see. And what people fail to realize is where they say they let see in the Bible even say he who let it will let. See that and what they say is back in those times that people things that happen. And as I tell people, you know, Jack Johnson was adult in the 20s. He screwed around with their women as well as he married one, as well as he moved on their streets. Do you see? Did you ever hear of Jack Johnson being hung from a tree or even beaten?
Mhm.
You never heard these things, have you? The reason why they knew this man was not going to play with them. They knew that they were going to have to deal with a man. They knew that if they come at him at any kind of way that they'll come to docile type people, you gonna deal with him. You gonna suffer some repercussions coming from him. That's why they didn't deal with that man. And mainly they tore up a whole city because they thought that he there's one guy in Oklahoma would mess with this white lady. This man was in New York screwing white women like it was no tomorrow, and then married one, then moved on their blocks. Why they didn't touch him?
He was scared.
They were scared. They knew repercussions was gonna come behind that.
Right, right.
So
I
the best
think
thing
that
for them to do, and guess what? Don't you know they never robbed his house, bombed his house, anything. The reason why they knew repercussions comes behind that.
well, when you get to like the civil rights movement, you got to consider also the indoctrination of the Southern Christian leadership and MLK, who was following Gandhi principles. So he was a disciple of Gandhi in that sense. And so, you know,
So
be
you talking about King?
non-threatening. Yeah,
Talking about
King.
King? No,
Yeah,
King was
King.
a fool.
Yeah, yeah,
He,
yeah. He was a
yeah,
fool,
he was a
definitely.
bumbling fool.
Yeah. But I'm saying that non-violent or that docile attitude came from him studying Gandhi and how Gandhi dealt with the Brits. And so our people bought into that. And so, but at the same time, there were groups that did resist. You had the deacons and you had other folks. And you know, but that ain't gonna get publicized because in order for the powers that be to maintain law and order, so they say, they want the Hebrew to be docile, especially the man. The man has to be castrated, and that happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. See, I see
Emotionally,
this.
mentally, spiritually.
See, so the same thing. We got a curling on here talking about nothing new, but saying talk, 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 and all we know that we're cursed people. See, but the same thing is you don't sit there and you let people just do you in any kind of
Yeah,
way.
walk over you.
So same thing is, I tell you what, go walk up in that time. Go walk up on Nehemiah. They were still in captivity. Go walk up on him and see how you gonna come out.
Yeah, he laying hands.
Yeah. He will lay hands on you. See, but this is what people do. We in a place where we need to do what we need to do, but at no time, I'm just gonna sit there and let you do whatever you do to me. And then I say, well, yeah, I am in my captivity, so I got to let this go down. You follow what I'm saying? That's silliness, you know. But the thing is, as I said, my child, and I got one grandbaby. Same thing like same thing like I told him. I would even bring my grandchild to. I dare you to put my grandchild in some handcuffs. I dare you to do it. See, because only them who let it will let.
Yeah.
When they know you're not going to play those little silly games with them, they deal with you in another way. They're not going to deal with you as they deal with somebody that they can do whatever they want to do to you. No, please don't do this. Please don't. No, can you please stop? No. So those are the things that's going on. I didn't know if Brother Matthew, I think he had his hand up earlier, Brother Matthew, but if not, I can't hear you, brother. You got it muted. Can you speak?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah, I didn't know if you had a question or not. Or
Nah. I just I missed the teaching today because I had some other things that I had to take care. I just came in, so I
Oh
thought,
yeah.
let me just log in, if just hear what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys are
yeah. The
saying.
teaching is over on Vimo. But the main thing is what happened. Once I finished that, then someone sent me over this video and just said, "Man, I need to see it." And as soon as I seen it, I'm talking about, you know, the stupidity of Gentiles. See, what people fail to realize, and same thing, like at no time the Most High ever said at any time, he said, you're gonna be in the land of your enemy. At no time he never said that they're not going to be your enemy anymore. At no time he never said that. But we have people that's foolish enough to still tie in. I'm talking about marry and do everything else with them.
Right.
Dealing with them, some cool with you cool with them. But if you ever switch and you do something different, see, my thing is, I use the same analogy. I look at the same way as what with Indians. The same thing with Indians. They came over here with Indians. They was cool with Indians till they seen where they can overpower them. Then they did what they do. And as I tell people in America, because I know you're not in America, but in America, you show me one treaty, one, and I do this all the time, and I actually do this to them when they want to sit there and tell me how cool they are. I say, show me one treaty, one treaty that you guys kept with anyone. Show me one. Actually, even show me a contract that you guys kept, just one contract that you kept and you followed it all the way through. It's non-existence. It's none there. The reason why, because they keep no treaties. They'll change them in the middle of the game. They do these different things, but then the same thing is they want to say, same thing. We're one nation, quote what they got it on the play, one nation under God. Really, under whose God?
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's one thing also, Elder, since you just mentioned that I would like to ask. There was a brother on YouTube that did a teaching uh, especially he was aiming also on the brothers that are in the camps, the ones that are teaching on the street, and say, because they're using the teaching most of the time that they are hating on a white man. And he said that there is no reason for our people to be hating on a white man, and saying that everything that has happened to us as a people, it was our fault because we broke the Most High's commandments, as he mentioned on Deuteronomy chapter 28, that if you break this commandment, this and this and this and this and this is going to happen to you. And then his teaching basically was like saying that we shouldn't have a problem with them, with the people that the other nations, of all the things that they did to our people, with the slavery, with the Arabic trans-Atlantic slave, the Atlantic a slave trade also, all those things that we shouldn't have. It was actually our fault. And I didn't comment or made any questions, because he did like a 2 hour teaching on that, based on that, and saying, like, proving like everything that we did as a people, it's all our fault. It's
Yeah,
not the
okay.
other fault,
Well,
it's our fault. And then it's saying, like, we shouldn't have a problem with the white man. We shouldn't have a problem with the Arabic man, with all the things that they've done to us in the past 2,000 years or so, with all the things that they do. So basically, we should take responsibility as a people that we had a contract with the Most High, and then we broke his commandments, and then uh, all those curses, we call all those things that happened to our people, for all these years, the hanging, the raping, all this. Basically, we call those things to ourselves.
okay, so let me show you how much he's lying and how much he don't know. Number one, we broke it. We had a contract with the Most High God.
Right.
That's all through Scripture. We broke a contract with Him. If you break a contract with God, when we took up a contract of what? We took up a contract of sin with the devil, which is everything else. So God has to put you away to let you go to what you're going to do. Same thing as the prodigal son. You want to do that, you go over there and you do that. So all he was saying, when you go to Deuteronomy 28, all God's saying is, you want to go to these people, and this is what these people do. He's giving you the characteristics and what they do, because this is how
Yes.
they operate. Not saying you guys deserve this, but this is what's going to happen because this is what you guys are into now. That's all he's saying. So then these things happen. And all God's saying is, all you gotta do is obey my voice, keep my covenant, and you're good. But if you don't keep my covenant, you can't stay with me. Why? Because he can't be around sin at all. At no time, as he's saying is, I'm gonna do this to you, and I'm gonna make them, and I'm gonna have them to do this, and I'm gonna have them to do it. No, he's saying, no, this is what they're about. This is what they do. This is what they like to specialize in. This is the silliness they into. Now, at no time, he said they don't hate you per se. They hated him. And he's telling you that they hate me. He same as say, you think they hate you? He said they hated me first. Why do it say in Psalms 83, you the hidden ones? Why? He's trying to hide you in plain sight. Why? Because you there in the land of your enemies.
Right.
You for God, they're against God. So they're gonna get the best way they can get to God. And they're gonna get the best way they can get to God, they're gonna get to you. So the same thing is where we deal with them and to say, like, per se, like with them, do we have an issue with them? Per se? No, technically no. If they cool with me, I'm cool with them. That's how I roll. And I've been like this all my life. You cool with me, I'm cool with you. But if you sit there and you dislike me, don't think that I'm gonna be docile to you. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna play those games. So the same thing is, and how a lot of them like to play, they feel they have rights to everything, no matter what. So that's why when I do spiritual teaching, and it's only allowed to where I do Israel, I don't let other nations come in there at all.
Right.
But then some of them have an issue with it. Okay, you guys got places where we can't go. I don't sit there and trip. But don't think that you have a right to do something because you're white. I don't play those kind of games. I don't play those games. And what a lot of them dislike and what a lot of them hate is to where you get into it and then they get into the preceptual arena where they want to deal with the Bible. And then I have shut down your top Jewish, what you want to do, so-called scholars, and your top so-called Gentile scholars. I shut down them according to precepts. So now when some of them even sent their own children to me to where they wanted me to teach their children how to precept the Bible.
Right.
Then you have a problem because it's certain things I will not teach them. That's why certain things I don't teach in the open. But even when I do that, who gives them the right, or how they think they have a right to get this from me because they're Gentiles? I don't play those games. So this is the issue that they have, that they go back and forth with, because many of them feel they have a right to do that and they don't. So don't ever play the game with them where they thinking they have a right. So the thing is to where I can deal with you on a level because I know exactly who you are, and the same things that I can go through, you can still relate to. The same thing a Gentile can go through can't relate to what I went through or how I grew up. He can't relate to it. He can understand it, he can't relate to it. It's
You
impossible.
see, the same thing that is usually said to our brothers there in the USA about slavery. They usually say, "Hey, yo, get over it. Now we all one people now. Just get over it." All the time, I've seen that a lot of time that in America they do this. The same thing here in South Africa. When the white man came here, it was about 400 years or over 400 years ago. They did nothing but persecute us in every way, and they put us in slavery in our own land. It was because we were here first. They put us in slavery in our own land, and it took us about 400 years until we were allowed to go to certain places. We were allowed to go to better schools that they created for themselves, you know. And then after that, they gave us, as much as you usually talk about Martin Luther King, Here, they gave us a person called Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
A lot of people here, they regard him as a hero. But if you're smart enough and you know the history of our people, the hardship that we've been through for the past 400 years, our history, you know that when Mandela came out of prison, he was celebrated worldwide as a hero.
Yeah.
But because what did he say? Because he said, okay, we don't want revenge. The land that the white, basically what he was saying, the land that the white man took from our ancestors, they can keep it. And then he says that we are all one people now. Whatever resources that they owned, the mines, the gold, the diamonds, and all the stuff, because South Africa is rich with those things. They say
Yep.
it's fine, they can keep. We're not going to repossess that from the white man. It's just that we must learn to share, but there's no sharing. It's still the same. They own the economy here in South Africa. They have better schools. Still, after 25 years of democracy, they still have better school than us. They still have better jobs than us. Even if they did it last year, they did a surveying for the jobs in the rates of paying people, and it found out that 70, it's still like, how can I put it? Like the white people here in South Africa are a minority, but they're still getting paid better, like 30 times better than a black man.
Yeah.
You go to any job as a black man, you won't get paid the same as a person who is white, but they're saying that, hey, we are free, we are one people, we should all get along and all that stuff.
Yep.
And then we walk, and they tell us the same thing that they tell you over there and say, get over slavery. They tell us the same thing and say, get over apartheid. Because that's the system that they use. Get over apartheid. We're one people now. You can go anywhere you want. You can go to any school you want. You can go to any mall you want. Because those were all the places that they banned us to go to, that they said we're not regarded. A black man, even no matter how qualified you are not allowed to hold a higher position than a white man, than any white man, regardless of what any qualification that guy has, that other person has. And then me seeing that guy, that brother who was doing that teaching, and he's saying that all those things is because we called it to ourselves. It's like that because we called it, we made it to ourselves. You know, the land stealing, the stock stealing, everything is, we called it to ourselves because it is there in the scriptures. We called it to ourselves, and because the Messiah said, he will put you there, he will take you back into Egypt with ships. He didn't say that the white man will take you back in Egypt with ships. He said that the Messiah will take you back in Egypt with ships. So, and then when you look at the comments, that the people that were commenting, you find that there were Gentiles making comments and saying, hallelujah, hallelujah, you know, or saying that stuff, praise God, what a wonderful teaching. And I'm sitting here wonderful, like, it's amazing because the scripture is not about them. It's about us. It's about us as a people, the people of the Most High. It's about us. It's not about them.
Yeah.
But here are they now commenting. You have Chinese people who are commenting there. You have white people who are commenting there and saying, praise God. But when you look at all these people, they had their share in enslaving the black man, in making, even China is doing the same thing in Africa today. They are stealing the resources. Even today, they're doing the same thing, you know. But you won't find any African or a black man who goes to their country and do exactly what they're doing in our country. But it's like it's things like that.
It's frustrating. I have one of my elders in. I want to show him the outrage because he has a daughter. I want to show him why we on right now because someone sent me this. So I want him to see it. He just came in, so I want to make sure he can see it. And I'm gonna play it right now. And this is where a 6-year-old girl, the cops arrested her and took her to jail.
Go with us now.
Okay, Kai, you gotta go with them, baby girl.
Stand up.
6-year-old girl.
Okay, come over here.
Where are those for?
It's for you.
Put your hand, okay? Come over here, honey. It's not gonna hurt.
Yeah, Ramos. Ramos sound like a Latino.
Let's go.
Your grandma will come pick you up, okay?
Come on, let's go.
You can tell me what happened on the phone, okay?
I don't want to go to the police car.
You don't want to?
No, please.
You have to.
No, please. Get
You gotta go.
I don't want to do this. No. Please. 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 Please let me go. No, no, I don't
Okay.
Please, no.
And see, one of the main issues is we have one person actually got in here talking about where they doing these kids at that age. And just like I keep saying, only people who let them do that do it. See, because I tell you what, same thing. You do not, when people sitting there in the same thing, the parents of that child, that school is still sitting there, not upside down from that parent that went through there and then climbed up into everybody colon and cleaned it out personally, they got an issue. Because that place in the police department would have been corrected. That's pure silly. I'm talking about where you can take a 6-year-old child, 6, put her in handcuffs, take her to jail because she was acting up. I'm talking about that's silliness to the 5th power. But the main thing is when what they'll do, you have to understand something. Same thing, like they just passed the lynching bill. They just passed it. 4 people didn't. 4 people didn't go for it, but other ones did. Now you have 4 idiot Gentiles was against it. Keep this in mind. They was against it. Everybody else passed it unanimous. One, they shouldn't even be a question in that they had to be pushing it all these years. Think about this. For those about dog abuse and those animal abuse, that passed unanimous. So that lets you know. See, because white people is not lynched out here. Asians not lynched. Mexicans not lynched. See, these things, but we're lynched. But then we'll sit there and think everything is cool, and we only want to sit there and play on that same field. The same way people like to go to this dumb Trump guy and they hold to him. And he said he's the least racist person you'll know. Least racist, letting you know he's still a racist. But he's the least racist person. So as we continually go and move forward, the same thing, as we continue to let people do these to our children, and they don't see, because just like I said, no way possible. I got a grandbaby, she's 5. That'll never happen. I dare them to do that. They see what they trying to do. They want to play these little games with you. And as long as they allow you to play these games and you play along with it, they're allowed to do more. They're gonna see how much further you'll take it. This is what they do. Sister Watson, I know you said you had a question, you had an answer, or you had a comment. Go
I
ahead.
had a comment. What I wanted to say is, as a mother, I had 5 sons that were in school, and my mother always taught me never to back down from any Gentiles, and I just say any white people, because I don't think nobody is better than me. And I still stand to that standard. And when I seen that, that made me cry, because my grandbaby, he's 6 years old and he'd be over here all the time. I had an altercation with the teachers. I'm living 2.5 hours away from my grandbaby, but I had to call that school and let them know nobody in that school is to touch my grandbaby ever. Nobody is to put their hand on him, because you do not want me coming up there to that school. So when the altercation happened last week, the mother is a teacher and my son is a psychiatrist. They called me 2 hours away. They lived up there. But I controlled my grandbaby. He was hollering and screaming. But I told him, don't put your hands on him. When I talked to him, I calmed him down and asked him why. All the teacher had to do was ask the child, what's wrong with you? Why? You know what I'm saying? Because kids, she could have been wanting to go to the bathroom and the teacher ignoring them. And I done seen teachers hitting these little kids hard. I mean, just hitting them like they like grown kids, punching them in the stomach, 6-year-old kids. So they're not showing you everything on the news because they got things that's worse than that what they're doing to our children. And these young parents today are going up there and just letting the teachers control them, telling them, well, your child can't do this and can't do this and can't do that. When you got the white kids up there selling drugs, you got 6-year-old kids selling drugs, but you ain't doing nothing to them. But I'm sorry, I'm just got so upset with that. That just pissed me off.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We have a Galaxy. I don't know who you are. You just got Galaxy.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom. Shalom.
I just want to say, yeah, the situation is just horrible. And I want to ask you one question because of this situation. I know you said that Sister Johnson, your wife, was going to be doing a little bit, some Bible teaching. And for this purpose that we see just today that you've made known to us, you know, when exactly when should be starting this? Because it is situations like this when you're in cities or states and you can't find a lot of people who just didn't surrender their lives to God, you know, to that feed and eat on this word of truth. You know, you just want strength sometime because of the things you go through. I mean, this is so dominant, not just to our children, but to us on our jobs and, you know, the way they treat us and, you know, and let the people slide on the job. And I mean, it's just dominant everywhere with our lives. And to have a clear, balanced understanding, as the brother was saying, you know, yes, because of our stiff neck, according to the Bible, we are under this curse, but God never told them to rape us, to kill us, to feed our babies to the gators. He never told them to do that to us. So we have no reason to be acceptance of the fact that they did this because we're under God's curse. That's not right. It's not balanced. We need to get clarity on, you know, the truth of this matter. You know, we're not under the curse of other nations of people. We're under the curse of God because to God, we broke the covenant with God.
Yeah.
Not with no other man, no other nation. So ain't no other nation got no right to be treating us as God's servants, putting nothing up on us. God himself has put all that he wants up on us.
True.
So I just want to know, you know, when the class is going to start. I mean, as sisters, you know, so that not only we can, you know, continue to get fed in this truth, but just to be strength for situations like this, because we deal with situations like this every day. And it's good to have each other, you know, to be strength. And I'm not a docile person. I have a 5-year-old grandson myself. And I would feel like you know, either I'm going to be dead in jail or I'm going to be dead because I'm just not going to stand for something like that.
Oh yeah. You okay? And I find out I'm gonna talk to her. But the main thing is always this. So and when everybody is working together, and this is what need to happen. This is what they don't like to happen. You have people who when you need assistance on certain things, you have people who can do certain things in aspects that need to be done. We have brothers and sisters that is less fortunate, and we don't go back and say, well, they didn't learn this, they wasn't educated in this, so they're a little bit less than this or whatever. So now we're gonna leave them out there. But the thing is, you don't leave them there. They don't leave theirs there. But the thing is, you might have the same thing. Now that those parents of that child might don't have the writing skills or the ability to actually check them the way they need to check them, or make sure the legal matters need to happen the way they need to happen. That's where people can come in and say, well, I'll tell you what, you need some help to write this. You need some help to do this. And same thing, I do a lot of legal writing. But the main thing is when one time I had a friend where, his job, they came at him a certain way. And the same thing I say, if you want me to write it up, I'll write it up. So when I wrote it up, and he told me everything what was said, and I had to throw out where it's just a lot of talk. We're going to deal with facts and law. Facts and law. Once we finish cleaning out their colon and did surgery on their policy, because what I do use my same techniques of Precept, and I'm gonna go through your policies, and then I'm gonna use your policies against you. Because what most people don't know, and to show you how dumb Gentiles are, and I'm very upfront about that, because they like to think that they really sharp in when they put their policies and documents together. And their policy and document actually contradicts each other. That's why, same thing, when they go into law, that's why they argue the points. And whoever can prove the point based on the terminology, that's why some people can go to jail selling drugs and some people get off on selling drugs. It was just based on the theology in the argument on what you was pushing and what you was able to conceal. All of it's a lie, but that's what they base it on. The Bible is the only thing that's actually based on precepts and all truth. Everything else is based on a lie. People don't, and that's the understanding that I try to teach people. Mm-hmm. So when you do that, I can tear your doctrine down and I can pull your policy and I can show you where your policy contradicts each other. That's what I do. And then I showed that, and what they did to him, they wanted to know, they know he didn't write it, but who did this for you? Mm-hmm. And he just told them, don't worry about it, because this here is documented, and this here I need to send down to a couple of places and this and that. Now, you know what they did to him? They moved him to another location on a promotion. We don't need you here. Let me see you here. And I think he got a $7 an hour raise. We're going to put you over into where you don't do anything now. We're going to put you over there and you just stay there. Mm-hmm. He don't now mind you. He didn't talk to me. He don't like it there where he's at, because he said, man, they just got me here, man. I think they're going to leave me here for the next 7-8 years until I retire. Okay, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Oh. But when they know you're willing to fight them, and you can tear their doctrine down
somewhere,
they want to separate. They don't want him to affect the rest of them either. Right. And that's the catch they do. Right. But let me take one more. I got Sister Cole.
Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Elder. I had to chime in just real quickly. I luckily or fortunately, or however you want to look at it, I don't have any biological children of my own, but I do have a 7-year-old great niece and a 3-year-old great nephew. And one of the things that I have to tell myself constantly is to really just be aware of what their surroundings are, and to make sure that I am up on my game, because they are testing us. And when it comes to the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, when is enough is enough. Now they are in our faces going after our babies. And me and Elder, we've talked, how I feel. If you coming after me and mine, then we got a real big problem. And I'm not gonna sit and get emotional with you. I'm just gonna, like you said, Elder, I'm gonna take it right back to the precepts, and I'm gonna get the law, and I'm gonna get it in your face, because it is there on the books. It's just that we have been so distracted that we don't take the time. And that's why I appreciate elders, all of the elders' teachings, because if you take the time and just study and really apply yourself and think logically, you can outwit these Caucasians and bringing ourselves together. I'm right now in the process of doing a lot of research, because my nephew, he's 3. I don't have any intention of him going to any type of public institution. I'm trying to plan my life right now so I can be the one that can supervise his education. He gonna learn from home. He ain't going out there to
Yeah.
learn nothing from no
Yes.
Messiah or whatever they want to call themselves.
Yeah. I
And
have
that's
a friend.
all I
Yeah. I have
had.
a friend. I have a friend. He actually they homeschooled, and the mom, what was crazy, and the mom, I know her. She just got a regular education, and she did that. Now, but now the son, I think he's 22 now. But what was crazy, he was actually on the news, the son, because he scored so high.
Hmm?
He actually he actually got a scholarship to go to college on an academic, not on no sports, on what he got up. But she made stuff, she did things her way, and she, when they needed to learn some certain things, she had put it in their face to where they can understand it, and she broke it down in a way to where I'm talking about. He was no joke. He wasn't nothing to play with, but he never set foot in school.
And
Never.
that's the whole thing, Elder. Our children are young geniuses. They come here with everything that they need. And when I started thinking about it, when my baby niece was born, and I started thinking, how in the world as a parent, can I send my child out to be educated? And people have to understand what the meaning of the word education is. They would think to be educated by people who, number one, don't look like them. Number two, don't understand them. Number three, hate their guts.
Yeah.
And we're subjecting our babies every day to 8 hours of pure torture.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you the biggest thing, what they don't like, but I can care less. They don't like it. Okay, same thing where you can check. Same thing. I used to tell you guys in class, check anywhere, worldwide. You can go to anywhere. See who teaches precepts. You're not gonna find it because nobody teaches precepts. And I did that because I already knew the answer to it. However, if you can teach your child, and this is for anybody, you teach your child precepts, you will make that child one of the most dangerous kids in school. And I'm gonna tell you a couple of things. So why? One, the same thing, how they have different Bibles. Most people don't know the Bibles have levels of understanding on education, meaning this. The King James Bible is set at a 5th grade level. Most people don't know this. And I actually taught on that, but it's set at a 5th grade level. The ESV, you need the comprehension of like an 8th grade level.
Most people don't even read on 8th grade level.
Yeah. So you have these people, they set at these levels. But then what happened when they did a study in the NIV, I think it's at a 12th grade. I'm trying to remember what levels they were set at. So what ended up happening as they went through these, now what happened, they did a study and they put these Bibles in jail. And they gave, one, some ESV, they gave some NIVs, they gave some different ones, they gave some to King James. But all of them had a 5th grade reading comprehension. They came back in 1 year. The ones reading the NIVs and the ESVs just in a short story, they came back and they still really at the same level, at a 5th grade level. The one that was in the King James Bible, you know what his level of reading was? At a 17, meaning he was at a master's level of understanding and comprehension of really just reading documents and anything else. Meaning this, when you learn precepts, and this is for anyone who's under at schools, and you learn it the way that I do them, the way that Elder T and the way Elder Jenkins and them is showing you how to do it. We got Brother Smalls who actually coming along, he's a young brother. All these people coming along, and you see what they're doing, and you see how they are actually precepting this Bible, and you use that skill set. What it does, it shows you. And why, okay, it's the same thing. Why, if you know how to drive, if you learned how to drive in a Toyota, if you end up getting in the Cadillac, you're gonna use the same skills you drove that Toyota in, you're gonna use the same skills in the Cadillac. You do the same thing with precepts. You sit there and the same thing, how I force you guys to slow down, study, look at the word, what the word, understand what you're reading. Slow down. You take that same understanding, why you don't apply it to what you're studying? When someone wrote you a contract. Do the same thing. If you want to sit there and see how you might get if you want to test and you get some, you can go right now to almost any website where like a airline site or a hotel site, and they got a policy. Take the policy, just copy the policy, put it on a piece of paper. And I'm gonna show you, especially like these elders I know who I know can literally just rip it apart. Take that policy, tear it down, put it in paragraphs, tear it down. I guarantee you, and now what you do, you take that same ability. Now you want to understand the language as I teach people. Now you want to understand the language. The language is not in the Bible. The language is coming from where? Now you want to know where they got the language from. Most of the language then came out of their dictionaries. So you go in there, you go in a dictionary, and now any word that is odd, you want to know and understand the exact language of that word. You put it to the side. You put it to the side, or you put it in parentheses next to the word. No matter what it is, you put it in there, which it might make your document, it might make your document 5 or 6 more pages. Doesn't matter. You do that. Now, once you tear that document down, now you no longer use those words that they have in there. Now you're going to read it with that understanding, and you're going to use the understanding of the word. Then read the document. Then you're the catcher.
And
it's automatic.
And Elder, I have a master's degree that I spent bukus of dollars on. And I've been studying under you for almost 3 years. And I have learned more in that 3 years of time that I've had with my master's degree.
I appreciate it.
Exactly what you said is exactly. Every time I look at a word now, if I don't even care if I understand what the word is. If I'm not sure, I'm gonna go try to find out what that word, what the meaning behind that word is, because words have meaning, they have function. And if we don't understand it, they can flip it around and tell you anything, and you just start your life and you don't even know.
You nailing it to the cross. It's the same way when you go into, if you're gonna go into a place of a legal place, and they got some language in there and it's all legal, you're gonna go to the common sense deal. You're not gonna use a dictionary to find out this legal document. Go to Black law, because that's the legal terms they're going to be using. So you want to know how those words function. Exactly what you're saying. You're doing the same. Now you know the words function. So don't sit there and say, oh, I know what that word means. No, you put that and you put in parentheses what it means and how it's functioning, how it works. Once you understand how it works, now you're going to read it and you see right next to the word, don't read the word, read the function of the word. And now you read the document. You just decoded the entire thing. You're going to see it contradict itself. And once you see the contradictions, now you go inside the law and you get the contradictions and you can show what's between there. What ended up happening, they'll just transfer you somewhere because they don't want to deal with you. Technically what happens.
That's okay, but give me time to study.
Yeah, but that's what you do. That's what you do with the documents. So anytime they'll sit there and say, I'll tell you what, you see where Trump and many other people tell you where they don't pay taxes. They don't do this, they don't do that. And everything is based on what? Based on the interpretation of the law, of the tax law. Understand their interpretation of the tax law is rhetoric. It goes around in a circle. It never makes sense. It's only what you can prove.
Yep. That's why when people keep saying Donald Trump covered the tax return, they don't even mention it no more. He still ain't ponying up the tax return.
Yeah.
One person ever asked the question, why is Donald Trump not forced to pony up the tax return?
Yeah. I can show you. I can show you. Well, most people don't know. You know, Amazon. I believe it was Amazon. Actually got a refund. They're multi-billion. I think $1 trillion run through them a year.
Mhm.
I believe it's them. I'm not sure if it's them, but I believe it was them. They actually got a refund.
That's because you know the law and you know the law, Elder.
Go to law.
That's all you got to
Go to
do.
law, you can work it. But that's why I say, so you never, when the Most High God, and he's imparting this knowledge in you, as he imparts this knowledge in you, that knowledge, you is not to keep it right there. You have to apply it in your life. You have to live according to what you know. So if you know you have to precept stuff, then you know, okay, this document is what they're trying to get me on. I need to understand this document. Take the time and break the document down. Once you break it down and you break it down to them, and you can, I tell you this, which still, see, because this really got me angry. But I tell you a few techniques what you do. Have you ever wrote somebody a document, which I have done on many occasions? Have you ever wrote somebody a document, and then as you wrote the document, now I'm gonna put at the bottom letter of understanding, and I'm not going to let you control the understanding of my document. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take each word and I'm gonna define it for you in the word at the below. So it's like a little dictionary. So when you want to know what this word, what I'm saying, and whatever that word is, and whatever I'm saying right here, I defined it for you. So what that does, that forces you to read it on how I'm telling you what I'm saying. You can't interpret it. That's what that does. So in a court of law, if I want to sit there and say, I call you, say dog mean I have dog, and let's say dog is mean I'm gonna give you $20. Just say that. Just say dog mean $20. So every time I say dog, you know, it just said meaning I got at the bottom, I'm gonna give you $20. I said, and on this day, dog, and whatever I said. You can't sit there and say that I'm saying I'm calling you a dog or I'm talking about a dog. Why? I gave you the understanding at the bottom of the letter and understanding. It's in my definition of what I'm telling you what dog is. Dog mean I'm gonna give you $20. So in a court of law, you cannot say he called me a dog. In a court of law, you cannot say I'm talking about a physical dog because I gave you the understanding down there in the bottom. I'm not letting you control my narrative. They don't like you doing that.
Yeah.
And I do letters like that, where I would define every word, and they can't stand it. That's how you beat them at their game. So
Thank you, Elder.
yeah, no problem. Technically, it's a Hebrew, technically Hebrew, who understand how to play the game with them. Is what they don't like. So, but I don't play with them in those fashion. So, but when they want to sit there and play dummy dumb with me, then I will go to that point to where I will write out my piece of information that I'm gonna write to you, and then I'm gonna define every word to you, and you have to read it according to how I'm telling you. At no time can you ever interpret my document at one time, because I told you what everything is. So if you try to interpret it and you try to take me to court on it, the court gonna sit there and throw it out, because they're gonna sit there and say everything is defined right here. This is what he said. He didn't say, you saying he's saying that, but he's telling you what it means right there. So you beat him at his game. Those are ways in doing it. So, but those, I would do something outside of here where I would do something and show, and literally I would mainly do it just to Israel, just to show you how to do it. Those things I don't, yeah.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, it angers. I did one place. I kind of keep some of. We did this to one place. Literally, they didn't want to talk to him. They didn't want to meet with him no more. everything was shut down. Everything. They didn't want to deal with nothing. You want to tell you what? Just let him. We're not dealing with him. Why? Because they can't sit there in the letter and interpret anything. Could you not giving when you're not giving them that control and you interpreted everything and you done told them what it is, they can't challenge it. They can't challenge the document at all because you defined it to them. I'm telling you, it's who you make some you get some people upset though. But,
Yeah, that's a skill that I need. That's a skill, another skill I need in my little toolkit.
oh yeah, I'll show you how to do. Me and you talk, I can show you how to do. Because you can twist them up. You can twist them up on that alone, especially with their doctrine. So in their doctrine is mean their policies, their oh, you can jack because it's contradictions in everything. You know, that's why they sit there. Do you believe in Roe versus Wade? Silliness. But it's based on an argument. You got to remember that. And the argument is based on a debate. That's why that's why these guys are always talking about let's go debate. That's why I always told people I don't debate. It's silliness. It's stupid. It's stupidity. I precept. Because according to precepts in the Bible is true. Every man's a liar. So anytime if I'm gonna sit there and we're gonna have a discussion, we're gonna see what precepts you're gonna pull out of there. And those precepts that you pull it better not be a contradiction nowhere in the Bible. So you need to understand the entire Bible. So as soon as I understand and you understand your Heavenly Father, 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. Yeah. So so the main thing is where we'll watch out and make sure, you know, when you're able to develop your documents, you can do damage with those. You can do literally damage with it. And the same thing is where, you know, with the police department that see for them to even allow that dumb cop idiot to take a child down there. See, even for a parent to even have to go down there to pick up a 6-year-old and saying where she was acting unruly. They should have cleared that. They should have cleared that police department out.
I know I would have. They wouldn't have wanted me down there because I think one of the other sisters said somebody would have been going down that night, and I no. And I've already told my baby niece, and I said if anybody tells you to keep something a secret, I said I want you to get on the phone. I want you to call everybody you know. You got everybody's phone number. Call me. Call your Auntie Sharon. Call your Uncle Robert. Call your Nani. Call your Mimi. Call your Papa. Call everybody, because we'll all be down there. Because I know you don't want me to come down there.
Oh yeah.
Because people they pushing us, Elder. They pushing us, and they using our children, and you see what they're doing to our babies, and it's not right. And we just sitting back, and we not coming together. We not trying to educate ourselves so we can save our children.
Yeah. And see, and that's what we need to do because we need to show our children. But the main thing is, they show you how we come together, and they want to sit there and show all the time how, you know, we're supposed to be. And the same thing, like, you know, I have 3 kids, but then, you know, you have some people who will sit there and they think, and the same thing I told my daughter, if you better not never bring to me somebody outside of Israel. It's not going to happen. See, because my main thing is I can care less who they are. See, they can't, it's no point to where you can come to me and tell me anything that justify them at any time. It's not going to happen. It's nothing that he can tell me because all he's going to do is get his feelings hurt. It's nothing you can tell me to where I'm going to justify that. Well, I really love you. I can, dude, you can take that somewhere else. Same as I tell my boys. I tell them this identical thing. You're not going to walk into me something of that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I understand. The
Yeah,
same way.
yeah. Now some people, some of them are with it. almost, yeah, you have nations that have issue, but it's no issue. They have an issue because you have an issue with them, but they feel that they can do it, and then they can do that against you. The thing is, I'm holding to what my God told me.
Told me not to mix.
So
Period.
yeah, so my thing is, I'm not going to hold your doctrine or your thought over his. It's not going to happen.
And it's not, and people try to say, you're being, discriminatory or anything. It's not that. If there was a reason, there's a reason for everything. And if we don't see right now that what's going on, that the Most High knows, because he was the one who created this, ain't no way in the world, if you're going to tell me that I shouldn't do something, that I'm going to sit here and say, well, I feel, I want, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel. Yeah, they love to say it. I feel. But you got to remember what he even said over there to and when Joshua died, you go into Joshua, he says that, he left some of them people in the land, the same as we in the land. But he want to see who you going to follow. Are you going to follow the ways of the people here, or are you going to follow him? I can care less where you are. You follow him.
Exactly.
So we need to hold to that, but the main thing is when we get to these people and we want to make sure that we're doing what is according to our God, we are not to sit there to where you're gonna let them and just treat you in any kind of manner, and we bow down to it and just sit there and just say, well, that's what we do. Same as one person, well, we're in the land of our enemy. But my thing is, if you're willing to let them take out your child and do that to your child, I have to remember, I'm in the land of my enemy. If that's what you're willing to do, then that's on you. Because same as I said, only them who let it will let.
That's
And
correct.
that's all, and that's always.
That's
And
correct.
And see, the main thing is,
I was raised, I drive him crazy because he always be like, Stacy, can you please? I was like, Dad, you shouldn't have raised me that way to stand up for myself. And I've always been that type of person. If it's not right, I'm going to stand up and say, you know what? It ain't right. And I'm not going to back down. So you want to come against me? You better bring it. You better bring it.
Yeah. So, so go ahead.
And those with kids or kids around them, when it comes to the heathens, to show your children who actually has that power and that authority, don't listen to them first. Listen to your children. When you go sit down at a conference or anything, they're going to try to tell you about your child, one that you raised.
Yep.
You stop them in that moment and say, hey, what happened? They lose all power and authority at that moment.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to realize and recognize who and what they're dealing with. Don't give them an opportunity to tell you about your child, which they're saying about you also.
Oh, yeah.
He's misbehaving. He's doing this. She's not doing this well. They can't do it well themselves.
Yeah.
You notice teachers can't, they're emailing and texting improper sentences.
Yeah.
They're just as dumb as the rocks that you throw across the pond that won't skip.
Yeah.
Listen to your child first, always. And then you go to that person. I guarantee they won't have much to say.
Yeah. Best thing to do.
Even if you know your child's not telling all of it, you got their portion. And you're going to say, now, what did you do? Put them in a child's place. What didn't you do?
Yeah.
They'll run from it.
Oh, yeah.
And try to get you out of that meeting as quick as possible. Don't give them that power to tell you that, hey, your child's not smart. They're not cutting the mustard. Because they want to label them the moment you enroll them in that school. And they're only a tax dollar. They get credit for every child that's enrolled in those public schools. They get grants for all of this. You're their money constantly. Don't let them control you or your children.
Oh, yeah.
Stand up for them. That child will learn at that moment that you're going to protect them. If you allow your child to see you bow down to them and say, oh, we're going to get this corrected, we're going to fix the why you did this, your child's going to look at you as you're spineless. You
Oh
believe
yeah.
in this person, but you're telling me to fight for the people at home, but you just bow down this moment.
Oh
Stand up
yeah.
to them. It'll help you and it'll help them.
Yep. You tell him, man. I tell you, it's funny when my daughter when she was in high school, and and it was this one white kid. He wanted to talk to my daughter for some, and she kept telling him she didn't even like him, but in the nut knew where I stayed. And you know they're gonna come knock on. Hi, Mr. Johnson. Man, I ain't gonna even get in. That didn't come out good at all. And you know, because for some reason they always feel that they're privileged. And same thing is, you know, I don't feel that you know, where they do things, I don't feel I'm privileged at all. You know, if they do this, they do this. I don't feel that I'm privileged to where I have a right to it. I don't do that. And the same thing, I look for them to do the same thing. So when we run in certain things to where I make this right to Israel itself, don't think that you privileged and you can do this. Don't do me that way, because I'm gonna correct you. I'm gonna put you back in your place. No, you're not privileged to have this information. And they can sit there, well, who are you? Well, I'm the one you're trying to get it from. So I'm telling you, I'm not gonna give it to you.
Yes, because their first question is always what's going on at home.
Yeah, yeah. Or they want to sit there, oh, what you trying to hide? You trying to hide what? Oh, I tell you what, why do the KKKs have private meetings? See, don't make me, you know, I can go to all these little issues, but the main thing is to where when our children is going out and they going out and they got to go out and deal with this, your child should not have to go into that school and be worried that that's going to happen to them. Because the same thing, if that child, and most times they'll correct that parent at the police department and probably correct their parents sitting there, well, your child was doing this, so we did this, so we did this, we did A, B, C, and D, and you know, hopefully you can make sure this corrected. You okay, yeah, I take them home. And your kids see this. Now the kid already know, okay, well, mom and dad, you go in there, you turn that place upside down. See, because they know it says nothing you can tell a person where they're allowed to treat because they keep going 6-year-old child. This child is not even 2,300 days been in the earth. Not even been in the earth 2,300 days. And still has a whole lot of learning, and you're going to do this to this child. Now, they'll sit there, well, the child was unruly. Okay, child was unruly. And what? Send their butt home.
It's according to their rules the whole time.
Yeah, it's that simple all the time. When a child is doing something, so it's the same thing is where they I had some where they told me they wanted to bring down could their child sit in some of my other classes. No, it's that simple. But they want to sit there, well, I know because I have one junior deacon that comes, they say, but I seen him in there before. Okay, and okay, one, I don't have a policy for you at all. There's no policy there. I go off the policy that the Most High has. And I show you some of his bylaws. Only you have I known, and only you know all my laws. And all the laws is written on you. So I need to show us what those laws are. Now you got a lot of them who want to learn what those laws are about and how they run. But far as we getting into where we want to get into other things, I don't have to show you nothing. And I hold to that. And just as I told you, I come on here and I let people know up front, I'm here to teach Israel. But I'm not here to uphold or to even speak about silliness on how they will treat us and then try to justify what they have done to us and allow them to do it. Because now we're doing nothing but making more part of the problem, because now we have to sit there and deal with this same silliness as it continually goes. Same thing. This child going to grow up and probably have a great fear of what's going on because of that one incident. When the cop come, she's gonna be extremely nervous because she had to deal with that. But the same thing is if the father took care of his business then doing that, she'll know she can go back there and know she won't have that issue no more. Same as my son and my daughter, when they went back in that situation, they didn't worry about it. Because the only thing that they worried about is, I know if something like this happened again, I already know this is going to be covered. We're not going to have this problem. Why? Because my father already seen what he was doing, and I know this is going to be taken care of. And then at no time we sit there and we give them that right, because the same thing even goes for their children. I wouldn't sit there and try to disrespect or demean their children in that manner, because it's silliness. And then do they have a right to be mad? 100%. Do they have a right to fuss or turn it upside down and turn the place up? 100%. But the same thing that I see on your side, I see mine the same way. And I'm not going to give you the right to sit there where you feel you can talk to my child or treat my child any differently than you treat your child. So if you treat your child a certain way, then don't come to my child and then decide you treat my child more disrespectfully. Because the same thing is, if your child is acting disrespectful, all I'm going to do is call you to come pick up your child. That's what I'm going to do, and that's how I deal with it. At no time, at a 6-year-old, I sit there right there, and if it gets too bad, I sit there and I will take that child to the hey, Rhonda, now this child got the roll. Where are you? Well, I'll be there and I will know, where are you? I'm taking this to you. And I just never deal with this child again. I don't care how good they can. I'll be good from now. I can care less. I'm never dealing with you again. But at no time will I sit there restrain a 6-year-old. I'm talking about the cop got to be dancy dumb stupid to do that. I'm talking about it's nothing else to call it. I'm talking about right now. I would even hate if my last name was Ramos. I would even hate it, because Ramos, and you tied to something that, because when I want to look at dumb and stupid, I would look at Ramos. Literally what I would be doing, because that's what I see. To where now, if he had a child, do his child like that and see how you'll come out. I guarantee you have a problem with him. Guarantee you would.
That's true.
But he'll do your child like that and feel he has a right. And the first thing he's going to do, I got a badge. So I have a right to do this. No. Same as someone said. Same thing. If they would have called, if I was a police officer and they called me up there, okay, we're going to tell you what. Well, I don't want to go. One, I ain't going to put the kids in nothing. Okay, well, we're going to roll. Now, if you're going to act up, you can sit in the front. But you act up, I'm putting your butt in the back. But I'm getting ready to take you to your mama. You got to go to your mama. This is zero-sum, because I'm not going to deal with it. Well, I don't want to sit in the back. Okay, you sit up in the front, act up one time, putting you in the back. It's that simple. Get you to your mama or your daddy, take you out, and now I'm going to sit there and say, hey, the school called. They wanted me to pick them up. Why? I don't know. Because they should have called you themselves. I don't know why they're going to call me and I'm a cop. So your child was sitting there crying, acting up, this and that. They didn't want to go with me. However, they came safe. And if anything, even if the child acting up, I try to sit there and do what? I try to persuade the child with something else. Okay, now you be good. I'll find out what the child like. Be good. I'll make sure this will happen. But all I need to do is persuade this child. And if I got to go an hour away, okay, let me go an hour away to take this child. I need to call the precinct. Hey, I got to take this child way over here. Because one place I'm not going to take the child is to a police department. Because all they're going to do is traumatize the child more. I need to take the child to the parent. The parent say they can't do it. Okay, got an aunt. Let me take it to the aunt. Let me take it to the uncle. Let me take it to the grandparents. I need to take this child wherever I need to take it to get the child in and out of the car as fast as possible. And the only thing I'm going to tell the person is, you need to talk to the school, because evidently it's something between the school and the parent, It has to be something, because it makes no sense where the school has to call on this child. I don't even know what to call it. But it goes back to the same thing. One person brought up the same thing goes back to gator bait. They was using our children for gator bait. So it shows you what they think of you. But then now we marry them. We marry the same people that use our children for gator bait. We marry the same people that was hanging us from trees. We marry the same people that sprayed our parents with water. We marry the same people that sit there and try to drag, they drug people along behind their cars. We marry these people and think nothing about it. And people sitting there saying, well, maybe you racist. No, it's not racist. Be conscious of what's around you. If they're cool with you, you're cool with them. But if they're against you, guess what? Don't come around me. Because when people sit there and say, well, he's one of these pastors, oh no. See, what I want is I just don't play games with you. And that's what they don't like. They want you to be, oh, bro, you know, we love everybody. If you beat me, I'm going to turn the other cheek. And I'm not that kind of pastor. That's not me. You hit me on one side of the cheek, you got a problem. And but they know that's coming. So as long as they understand that, and then because the same thing, and will I do that with another child? See, even with people seeing that coming out, it don't matter what child is doing that. And when they want to sit there and try to hold it, I would sit there and be just as livid if you even seen them doing a white child like that. I'm talking about, it boils down to just stupidity. But then it shows you they're not going to do their children like that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it probably, Orlando, Florida probably wouldn't even be on the map anymore. If they would have did they would have did a white child like that.
Oh yeah.
Orlando, Florida probably wouldn't even be on the map anymore. Zero-sum game. And whatever that parent did to that Orlando, they had it coming. Because you sitting there and you traumatizing a child, a dang kid. But then they act up. If you did a dog like that, you would have animal activists all over the place acting the fool, cutting the monkey on everything. But this, well, yeah, the child, well, same thing. One person, well, did the child have a gun? No, the child, no. And they showed in there what the child did. But the person put in here, well, did the child have a gun? No, the child didn't have no gun. But automatically, we try to go to something guilty that this black child have done. Because what we have to look at is this. We have to look at a couple of things. You can see some of the most disciplined children is in the Hebrew culture. Believers and non-believers. Why? Because we don't have the time and have the patience to where you want a child disrespecting you in the public as well as in the private. You know, same thing. I told people the same issue. Me and my own brother, when we was a little bit older than her, we decided we're going to go into the dang grocery store and we were going to get one over on my mother. We made a plan. When we get over here by the cereal, if she didn't get the cereal we wanted, we were going to cut the monkey. We cut the monkey. Didn't turn out good because she beat our butt right there on the spot. And then as she was beating it, she was bringing her hand back from Texas and coming. And when she finished, she shut out. And now we had to shut our mouths. So you know when you shut your mouth, you're breathing through one place. Snot going everywhere. People walking by, sitting there saying, well, next time, be good. That's what they're telling us. Next time y'all be good.
Condition, society condition.
Yeah, and that's consoling. That's consoling us. We all the way up to where she's getting ready to pay, and people still walking by. But next time you know better. Next time, be good now. Be good next. In the grocery store. She was making a point to us. Don't you ever embarrass me in front of people again. It never happened again. But the thing is, that's coming from a parent. And the same thing as where if we're older and the child is acting up, the first thing is, same thing. When we was up at the school, we were playing SWAT. See, I can tell you some story that my brother hate me to tell, We used to play SWAT. We looked at SWAT, we liked SWAT. So we go get on people's roofs. And we got on this church roof. Worst thing we could have did. Got on the church roof, and it was during the week, the preacher called the police. Now the cop was sitting there, and we wasn't that far away from home. The cop was sitting there saying, you know, I can take y'all home, this and that. We didn't want him to take us home because he'd tell. And he caught it. As soon as he caught it, he gonna lecture us out there. Now he's sitting there, he's telling why we shouldn't get on the roof, all this stuff. And we tried to play up. He said, okay, now I'll take you home. I talk to your mom. We begged this cop, whatever you have to do, we'll come and wash all the cars in the precinct as far as we was concerned. Just don't take us home. You take us home, already knew death was waiting for us there. Because she whoop us, our father whoop us, then they're going to call my grandfather. Call our grandfather, it's a wrap. He going to cry on you, he going to whoop you after death. Technically what happens. So we sat there, and I'm talking about, and he lectured us, and we sat right there, and we listened like we had some common sense. And we knew not to get on those roofs. But that, you know, but those cops back then, but now you have it to where it comes so disrespectful to where now they'll sit there and they'll traumatize our own kids in that manner. And most of us don't think nothing about it. The first thing we want to do is, what did that child do? We immediately go to, what did that child do? And that's what kind of ticked me off in there. Because immediately, and actually I can go up to it, because immediately it's really irritating that we even do that. The first thing we want to see is, what did the child do? Not looking at the situation, what did the child do? And I'm trying to go to it right here. And I'm trying to find it. I don't see it. Because there was some person put in there saying, you know, what, you know, did the child that did something? Not looking at 6. It's plain and simple. And the same thing is child done something in that nature. The best thing to do is to keep the kid at school and have the parents come pick it up, or guess what? You take that child to whatever parent or whatever aunt, whatever uncle or grandparents that need to be taken to. And then the best thing to do, that child act up, you suspend the child. Because based on that progressive discipline, to where now, see, what people fail to realize, if you suspend that child, somebody got to spend time with that child. So if both parents work, one of them parents got to be off work, which is going to cause more problems. Because they're going to sit there like, well, we got to take the child somewhere. Where are you going to take him? You can't take him to me. Not at school. I suspended him. So you're going to discipline that child. But let's say you're not a disciplinarian, the parent, the mom or the dad. Now, I done suspended the child for a week. You're not a disciplinarian, you're going to talk to the child. Cool, you talk to the child. Child come up, cut the monkey again. Now, I'm going to suspend them maybe for a month. Either one of the parents got to stay home, or you got to find a babysitter for this child. It gets worse, kick the child out. Now you got to enroll this kid somewhere else. Now I don't even have to deal with the child. Who get punished? It's the parent, because the child is allowed to act that way. So if the parent don't correct this child, now the child is sitting there and it's taken away. So either you're going to correct the problem or you're going to increase the problem. And it's not sitting there where I have to do anything to this child. Only thing I'm doing is saying I'm removing this child behavior from this area. That's it. Call the cops was stupid. Stupid on the school, everything else. And even the teacher that was in there doing it, she was just as big as idiot as the cop. And that's what you have to look at. So the same thing is, how can you even sit there and have your child in a place like that? So even if somebody was coming in there to do damage to all the children, I wouldn't trust that, because if the man sit there and say it, or a woman sit there and say, you give us 2 of the children, or you let us kill 2 or 3 of them, we'll let the other ones live. I guarantee you they'll give them children up. Why? Have a kid arrested. So we have to remember the stupidity that we goes through. Yeah. And, oh, okay. So we have somebody talking about they won a lawsuit. Okay. Yeah. So but make sure you guys, especially if you have small children, make sure you keep your kids from stuff like that. But the main thing is as you people who same thing, people who know how to precept a little bit, take your time and go through those documents. Take your time, so when people try to act up on you and do certain things, you know how to go through that document and tear that document down to where you're going to protect yourself as well as you're going to protect your children. Because that completely falls on you, and do not let them play that game on you. I got Brother Daryl. Go ahead.
Sir, yeah, just an observation. The cops, the police officers, I don't know if you saw the first one. That Ramos guy was the subordinate. There was another cop who was giving him directives. No excuse for them. I work in a school with high school kids, and I think last week or 2 weeks ago, practically we have where the police come. We do the drug dog thing, and I had to escort the officer, and we had a conversation about how the dog works and everything. And he was a decent guy, and he told me that he tries his best, even if the dog hits on something, not to embarrass the person, not to put the person in a situation where it's an embarrassment. So even, because sometimes there may be a false alarm or whatever. But his old deal was he don't want to embarrass students in front of other students and things like that. So, but at the same time, you had these two guys, they just didn't care. But if you go back and look at the video, I don't know if you've seen the whole video. There was an older, I don't know if he was I don't even think he was a sergeant. I think he had 2 stripes on his arm. Ramos didn't have any. So Ramos was following directives of another guy who was a Hebrew, and he was the one that was talking, because Ramos' mouth wasn't moving when you watch the video. It's another guy behind the scenes talking, and him and the administrator at the school was having a conversation for a little bit in that video, and it goes back to the administration too. They handled it wrong too. So it's like it's a snowball effect. Bad leadership on all sides.
Yeah. See, same thing like Ramos, the idiot that was witty. The school, see, same thing. Like I said, kid 6. See, that's where I'm not going to see. My thing is, and where people sit there, well, the kid was it. All I'm looking at,
6-year-old, man.
Kid 6. So you're gonna tell me, kid 6. I cannot. I'm 57. I can take 6 years out of my life. I'm 51. What do this kid gonna sit there and outsmart me or out wisdom me on it? Take 6 more years off of that. I'm still in my 40s. What this kid gonna do that's different? The kid is 6. Man, people got goldfish older than this kid. I'm talking. It just boils down. I'm talking about, for me to do business or do anything in Orlando, I'm talking about they're gonna get a letter from me, then gonna go to the police department as well as to their city. I wouldn't do nothing in Orlando, just based on the stupidity that you guys. The intelligent level of you officials have to be so low, it got to be below a gnat. I know gnats don't even have a brain, but your intelligent level has to be below that. So why would I come there to try to come to your city and this is you guys' intelligent level? No reason to. You just
What some people don't realize, if you look back, like I said, one guy was outranking the other one, but even in the military, so it don't matter if somebody outrank you. If they ask you to do something that's ridiculous, you are not bound to do that. It has to be a lawful thing. So I'm not handcuffing a 6-year-old.
Yeah, that's a zero-sum game at this point. It's nothing to where a 6-year-old can sit there and put me in danger to where they don't have nothing in their hands to where okay, well, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna try to kick you. Okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna mess around. I'll hold your butt. You all right? Put you in. I put you in. Same thing. I'm gonna make that back seat look real. Okay, I'm gonna put you back there. I got a boogeyman back there. I'll throw your butt back there. Don't have no problem. Cause I'm gonna scare him up, and then I'm gonna do everything. I get you there, but the main thing is I'm gonna get you from the parent. I'm gonna get you away from the school, but I'm taking you. You're not going to the precinct. That's beside the fact. Because all I want to do is call. Because I know the school you're gonna have like the next of kin of the person.
Right.
Them the people I'm gonna deal with. Because that's who I'm gonna take you to. And then I'm gonna sit there and tell them, okay, now you see all these people. Now look at now. You're gonna be over here now. Now look at you. And then you might play in their head. Okay, now you see you in the car. See now you're arrested. You're arrested. That you shouldn't have never even been. You can sit there and play with their mind. Like the parents gonna tell them, well, now he wasn't quite telling the truth. But the main thing is, I just want the kid to be quiet till I got to that to the spot where I need to drop them off. And the main thing is, at no time I never need to. Same thing. If he put him in cuffs, I can put you in the back.
Right.
You can act up all you want to. Ain't nothing going to happen. So same thing is, I'll make you put on your seatbelt. You don't put on your seatbelt, okay, and you keep doing it. Same thing. I'm a cop. Okay, I'm gonna go and tell you. I'm just gonna get you to your whoever the next one can. I'm just gonna get you there, and y'all gonna deal with them. I'm done with it, and I don't have to deal with anything. No paperwork. And I'm done. And now, if he do whatever he do or whatever she do, whatever she gonna do there, they do it. I don't have nothing to do with it from that point on.
Now, did they when they took her in the cuffs, if they took her to the precinct, they had the fingerprinter. You know, you got to go the whole 9 yards, and that's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they showed her from being. I had the other one where they were showing her being fingerprinted. I don't think, yeah. Oh wait a minute. Let me pull. Yeah. 1 second. 1
That's
second.
crazy.
Oh yeah.
They fingerprinted her.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to show it to you. I'm getting ready to show it to you. Yeah, they fingerprinted the little girl. They took it down there, and in 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It's just.
Yeah, they stupid. That's a lawsuit. That's money right there. I'm breaking the bank. Orlando, you about to get trampled.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you the stupid thing about it is, the biggest thing about that is, they'll call themselves Christians.
But we know what that means.
Yeah, exactly. But they call themselves Christians. Christians.
Good Christians.
And that's what I love to show people. Those are Christians. 1 second, I'm trying to pull that.
Wow, man, they fingerprinted the little girl.
Yeah.
She was traumatized before she got to the car. She was screaming. She didn't want the cuffs. She probably saw cops at home on TV or something. Like, I don't want none of that.
Yeah. See, they got some stuff on here. Yeah, they got people got you're fired and all this. Wait a minute, I'm trying to find where she was fingerprinted. And yeah, and it telling you plain as day, she had a temper tantrum. I'm getting ready to play it. I'm getting ready to show it to you. 1 second. I'm gonna show you, and it's telling you exactly what happened. And this is another news station. See, people want to sit there and try to make something. My thing is, where a child do something like this, we have to stop sitting there, automatically try to find something negative for something that Israel have done to which justify their behavior towards our children. And the same as Brother Small was just saying. He said, "Hey, talk to your child first before you talk. Take that power away from them. Don't let them trip on you in that manner." 1 second, let me pull this over, because once you can pull it, now all that's moved away from them. Now they can't do anything. Let me pull this over here. You're gonna get ready to see it right now. And let me pull that right there. And this is it right here. Now I got 6-year-old arrested, has mugshot taken following school tantrum. That's what she was locked up for.
3-year-old is like most little girls. She loves pink and has a cheery outlook on life.
Come sit down.
But after what her grandmother says happened on Thursday, the bubbly 6-year-old has little room to focus on school after she got a call from a school resource officer saying Kaya was arrested.
I said, what do you mean she was arrested? So there was an incident and she kicked somebody and she's being charged and she's on her way.
Marilyn Kirkland says her granddaughter's journey to the Juvenile Detention Center by Orlando police officers began at Lucius and Emma Dixon Academy Charter School.
She's arrested and she has a charge. She's charged with battery.
The disorienting chaos, too much for Kirkland to process.
She has a medical condition that we're working on getting resolved. So he says, what medical condition? So I said, she has a sleep disorder, sleep apnea. He says, well, I have sleep apnea and I don't behave like that.
The first grader handcuffed and carted off, where the grandmother says she was fingerprinted and even had a mugshot taken.
No 6-year-old child should be able to tell somebody that they had handcuffs on them and they were riding in the back of a police car and taken to a juvenile detention center to be fingerprinted, mugshot.
Kaya equally as upset.
No, I'm good.
But happy to be home.
I'm so sad that my grandma was sick. I really missed her.
Man.
So I don't, the same thing like, but see, and I'm gonna tell you something. What you catch? How they said she had a problem. Now she kicked somebody. That's what they said. She said she kicked somebody. So again, now the grandmother, they're trying to make her justify saying well she has sleep apnea. The simplest thing to do. I'm gonna tell you what. She kicked somebody. You're suspended. Done. Okay, well, what about me bringing the child? I don't know what you're gonna do. Well, I gotta work. That's not my problem. Child suspended. That's the easiest way to settle that. But what they gonna do, the child, it goes right back to it again. The child is 6. So they saying that she had this problem, sleep apnea, which I don't know what all the side effects is from that. However, the simplest thing to do, you kick the kid and you throw a tantrum, suspend the kid. I'm done. Come pick up the child. Oh, well, I can't get him right now. What? No, you need to come get your child. Well, I can't get, okay, well, if you don't come get the child, I'm taking the child to you. Because you're going to get your child. It's that simple. But they're gonna take the child to a detention center. 6. I don't get it. So
wow, I didn't know they did that they mugshotted her and fingerprinted her. Wow.
Yeah. 6.
That's like gasoline on the fire, basically.
Yeah. 6.
Legally, I mean, there has to be some legal, because like you said, you wouldn't see them taking another nation's child at that age and putting cuffs on them and doing all that.
No. That see, that's just like you got Dum Dum who's in office, where he separated those Latinos from the parents. Now, what they're not going to tell you is, don't you know they still got some of them kids still not reunited back to their parents? Did you know that? Most people don't even know it. Don't you know? I forgot 2 of them died in there. But the same thing is where we can understand a lot of what happened, but now you even let up to this time, and they let this go down, and see. And the main thing is, well, they came over here illegally. One, your wife came over here illegally, because that's how she got here. She came here illegally. And then a borderline prostitute at that. Now they gonna call her the first lady. However, with all this done, it still boils down to the same thing. When all this goes down and everything where people want to sit there and talk about this child, Will you do, and the first thing they should have did is, will I do this to one of mine? First thing should have went through their mind. And I guarantee they wouldn't have did it. It wouldn't have happened. But it all goes back to, we want to see, what did that child do? Well, what did the child do? Same thing I said. You can confine the child. The child was already confined. The child was in there with 3 adults. Child already confined. All you gotta do is have a parent come pick them up, and you're done. You're done with the situation. But they want to go to the next level. Let's arrest the child. On top of that, let's fingerprint the child. On top of that, let's take them to a detention center.
Yes, and to be honest about it, they don't know why the child kicked the other child.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't even know why.
Children react to things.
Yeah.
They react to them, man. You see that parent came up with that excuse, sleep apnea, just bowed down to him right there.
Yeah, exactly. See, and that's something I never bow down to. I can care less what you say on anything. The main thing is they try to find an excuse for their child. Same thing like I took my child when they was kids. We took them to this amusement park. We took them down to Magic Mountain. And now the same thing is, but you have these privilege, these figure privilege. So I'm not standing in line, but my kids are standing in line. So this white kid come get in front of my kids while they was near the top. I just went right over there. Now the parents standing right there, watched the kid do it. I went over there and got that kid, moved him, and told my kids going back up there. Oh, he has a little problem. I can care less. See, I can care less. What's wrong with your child? And the child wasn't nothing actually wrong with the child. The child just feel that he can do it. I can care less what's wrong with you. Don't get in front of them. Don't get in front of mine. You can get in front of those kids all day long. Well, what they did, since they didn't get in front of mine, they went back to the end of the line. They took him back to the end of the line. But he went and specifically got in front of mine. No, you're getting in front of the wrong ones. I'm not here to play games with them. I'm not here to do anything with them. I'm here to do a job. I'm not here to sit there to bow down to you. I'm not here to do anything. I'm cool with you, you're cool with me. That's the bottom line deal. But if you want to sit there and be an enemy towards me, then that's your prerogative. And I will treat you as such. But don't ever think that I'm gonna bow down to you. Because what they do, they want you to bow down to them as where they want you to be subservient to them. And that's something that you're not to do. Because that's the same reason why they went around, as Christians did, that they went around and they made you bow down to a God. And if you didn't choose that white God that was on that thing, they was killing people left and right. That's part of the problem. And that's something you're not to do.
And basically showing yourself to be in a weaker state, fearing their God, and showing your child, you're teaching your child to be submissive to their God at the same time that you're bowing down like that.
Oh, yeah.
We don't bend over for pilgrims in this house.
No, at all.
They don't have, period.
Yeah. So some of them have, some of them, they don't like, they have the issues. But the same thing is, I'm not here to play games with them. I'm not here to do anything with them. I'm here to make sure that equality is always set out, but don't sit there and I can show you where some of the kids, something happened. And man, I'm talking about, I tell you what, it's in Brentwood, in California. You can go in Brentwood, and an old lady, somebody had snatched her purse. Don't you know they changed the laws in Brentwood behind that one incident? One incident. They changed the laws there. Do you know how many Israelite women that had their purse snatched? They do nothing. So that's why I say, so a lot of times we have to monitor ourselves. But the main thing is, when things happen in our arena, and you see some people that can't, sometimes you got to help the people who can't stand up for themselves. But the same thing, like if I was even talking to that one, I would tell her, don't bow down and tell her she has a problem. What problem they have?
Yes, and another thing, submission and guilt to that is letting them give you money.
Yeah.
The money gonna go away. It's gonna
Yes,
go
it
away,
is.
but the memory sticks with that child forever.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna,
that's why.
you can mistreat me, and then you'll pay me later.
Hmm. That's why
No,
you ain't heard me even bring that up.
give that child a better memory of you standing on your toes, defending them,
Yeah.
defend them.
Yeah.
They
It's
won't even worry about that money because they won't value money at that moment. They're gonna value protecting themselves and their people.
oh yeah. So yeah. So everybody, let me see. Well, okay, this is yeah. We got some big people out of the UK, but the main thing is, yeah, you guys protect your young children. Protect them from these silly fools, because there's nothing more to call them. Nothing but straight out, bona fide, unadulterated, low down, dirty dog fools. That's all they are. And Sister Watson.
Elder, I had to tell you this. Sometimes my grandbaby be over here on the Sabbath day, and I usually separate him from when you're teaching,
Mhm.
but he's in a gifted class, so he's real smart. So he was
Mhm.
listening to you one day, and he went by my sons and them still going to church. He was in class, and the teacher said something, but it was on a teaching that you had just had. And he stood up in class and said, you can't tell me anything because Elder Johnson said that the heathens are going to hell. And the parents of my son then was calling me talking about, stop telling grandbaby that people are going to hell. I said, I didn't even say anything. But
No.
he knew basically the teaching that you was teaching that day. He knew it and told the teacher and the teacher at that Christian church they go to exactly what you said.
Well, see, and we're gonna tell you what. Don't you know heathen go across all color lines?
Yes.
See, that's what they see. As soon as you said he went to school, I already knew they wasn't gonna, because I got a couple of them and did some of that stuff in school. And I was sitting there, I already knew it. That's why I said, yeah, this ain't gonna be good.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all for me.
Yeah. Because I got in trouble on one, this about a month ago. This one lady called me. She said, I'm gonna have them listen more to Elder Jenkins a lot more. She said, because you and Elder T, she said, Elder Jenkins, he kind of more, he's smooth about here. And she said, because he got in trouble. I said, he got in trouble. She said, yeah, he got up, teacher sat there and talking about something on Christmas. And I'm sitting there, I said, okay, this ain't good. I already know this ain't good. He said, yeah, you gonna bust hell wide open. I'm sitting there like, no, he didn't tell the teacher that. He told the teacher that.
Yes, my grandbaby do the same thing. That's why I have to be careful when he's here.
Yeah. I said, yeah, you make sure he listen to Elder Jenkins. I say, because
He listened to Elder Jenkins too, because
yeah.
I had texted Elder Jenkins when his teaching, not this one, the one before. When Elder Jenkins be teaching, he stands at attention. I'm saying, you know how Elder Jenkins get off and then he get to that want to yell at you point.
Yeah.
And my grandbaby sitting up straight, like listen to him just like he was God. I mean, like I just look at him and it's like you can hear a pin drop in this house.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I say, yeah, you listen, because
My grandbaby.
he won't call them, he won't call people, I guess, more names, but he will say it in an underlying way using the precepts in the Bible. But me, I'm just like Favor Flav. God calls him a fool, I'm gonna call you a fool.
Did you hear him saying that to his mama and daddy? He said, Elder Jenkins said, y'all fools, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
They be calling me all the time, fussing at me. I said, all y'all gotta do is just and I had to tell grandbaby, you gotta listen. You can't go to school and say stuff like that.
Yeah. You gotta.
But it's so funny.
But as they get older, and what people fail to realize, as children get older, especially if you show them early at an early age, to where they could sit there, and even as they sit there and they learn, and most people don't think kids pay attention, but they actually do. But as a child learn, and then you can put those precepts together, and everything will go to them, and it makes sense to them. And as they start, and then when you get them into the Bible, and everything clicks, and it makes sense as it's going, those are the ones you're going to sit there. And I'm talking about a Christian pastor will never be able to say nothing to them, because they're going to catch them in the lie every time. Not some of the time, every time. They'll never be able to get away with it, because same thing as if you tell a child, and same thing like these Christians like to believe Genesis 6:4. Those are angels. Now, everybody know they're not angels, but they think they're angels, and they think the angels that went into them. But now you show the kid that it's talking about Genesis 4:26, and as well as in the Old Testament, angels was calling sons of God. Not saying angel guys, just saying sons of God, is only used 5 times in the Old Testament. Only 5 times. So if that's true, and we know that angels of the Lord and the angel of God is used more than 200 times with them combined all together, all through the Old Testament. So you know what they are. Now you take a kid, and the kid knows this. Now the kid then already got in his mind, he already know, okay, angels, as when you go over and talk to Paul, angels and Yahweh Shai, we know that he tell you those don't mix. If now you got this kid and everything jiving together. Now you take this same child, he's 12, 13, 14 years old, and this is his understanding. So now he know the Bible can't contradict. If it contradict, he know it's not the Bible, it's what he sees. This is, you gotta remember, this is all the child knows. Now, as that child get older, now you sit there and now you tell the child Christmas. You got a problem. The kid gonna go right to Jeremiah. Gonna sit there and say, well, no, it's a tree. That's a tree. The kid knows it's an issue. They decked it with silver and gold. Everything's right there. The kid sees this. Now you have a problem with the doctrine that you're feeding this child, and there's nothing you can tell the child. So the child might sit and listen to you, but are they going to believe you?
See,
They
that's
know
a
you.
problem I'm having with grandbaby today is because I don't celebrate any holidays. And his auntie came over here while he was here to visit him. And she brought him this Valentine's Day doll. And he know I don't celebrate nothing or bring anything like that in my house. So he went and hid it under the bed. And so when I went in there to tuck him in, I seen this doll. I was like, how did you get this doll? Well, Auntie Annette brought this over here. And I know you don't like it. I didn't want you to see it. See, he has to hide things and he don't want to participate in it. So he didn't want the doll. He wanted to throw it away because to me, it's like he knows that this is not he's something that he don't want to do. He didn't want to do Christmas. And then now I'm have to battle against, should I let my grandbaby know the truth and just sacrifice that they may not let me ever see grandbaby again, or just say, okay, I see you when you get grown. But I'm still gonna tell you the truth.
You just if he asks you a question, I just show him the truth. See, you're not, and that's the easiest way to where, they're going to teach him the way that they're going to teach him. But if he asks you a question and it's have anything to do, well, Grandma, why you don't celebrate Christmas? Besides telling the child, you can sit there and say, my God, which he is, my God. Say, this is why I don't. And you go right to the Bible and you can write it down for him. Say, and you show it to him, say, see right here, see, this is what my God said. And if my God said, I do this, you show him the repercussions behind that.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
So you show him that in the Bible and say, and this is why I don't do that, because this is what's going to happen. I say, now you don't want grandmommy not to go to heaven, right? He's going to say no. Then you take him right to Revelations 22, verse 14. And then you're going to see, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they have a right to the tree of life, that they may enter through the gates of the city. And then he says, seeing for all without, he's going to say, all without. You see how he says this in the next verse? For all without are dogs. Is grandmommy a dog? See, you remove what you're seeing in the Bible per se, and now you start putting it on you. And you make him, because he can see you.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to relate him to that, and then sometimes you might take him outside and be walking around and say, see that dog? God was calling people dogs, just like that dog right there. Is grandmommy a dog? No. And you, are you a dog? No. Ooh, no. You know, might do it. So okay, when you're not doing what my God is talking about, now he might come to the point and say, "What about my mommy and them guys?" Say, "I don't know. I know this is the God I know."
Everything you just said, I just went through it and I just explained that to him because every night when he's here, he says his prayers and we read the Bible every day. But when he's home, he doesn't do that. And so
Yeah.
it's like a contradiction. So when you hear I'm teaching you about my God, but when you are at their, you know, they really don't teach him anything. They throw him in a room with a million toys and stuff, and they be just traveling all over the world and then give them to me and go on another trip. So I'm
Yeah.
basically raising him. So I'm thinking if I'm basically raising him and I'm teaching him the right way, y'all shouldn't even say anything because y'all really not, you know, taking care of him.
Yeah, but then you also let him know a lot of this stuff, you know, you have to keep it within your heart. And that's how you let him know. And then just say, you know, as I show you things, just keep it within your heart. This between you and grandmommy. You
That's
ain't
what I
keeping
had to
nothing
start
from him.
telling him.
Just
Yeah.
say keep it between me and grandmommy. And then as he get older, and he said, "Well, my mommy and them showed me this." Okay, well you obey him, but ask him. Don't tell him grandmommy told you, but you ask him.
Mhm.
Just show it to you in the Bible.
And he
Make
asked
him
me
show it.
that just the other day. He said, "Well, I don't know about my mommy and my daddy, but I know where me and you going." And I couldn't say nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You'll be surprised. Your kids will say surprising things.
Yeah.
You
And he's
know.
6.
Yeah. They'll tell you. Yeah. They'll tell you some surprising things. But all you want to do is just tell him anytime that he has any issue on anything. Besides telling him, you show it to him in the Bible first,
Mm-hmm.
and then you take him out and you show him the same thing. Like you sit there, he say how God will talk about trees. And everybody who have young kids who's watching, yeah, you talk in the Bible talk about trees. That you'll be like a tree planted beside still waters. So a tree planted beside still waters, talking about all this knowledge, you just going to be, it's going to feed you and it's just going to grow. So now what you do, you take that same child and you go out and you want to find somewhere where it got a little bitty tree, little bitty, you know, where it's going to be a tree, but something that little. Say, see this little tree right there? And then you show him a big old oak tree. Say, do you know that tree right there? I don't know how old it is, but I know it's more than 100 years old. Say, do you want to live to be like that? Or you just want to be lived to where after you be like this for about a couple more years and then you gone? You don't want to be like that old tree.
And I actually can do that because I have a baby tree in the front yard and I have a big old walnut tree in the backyard.
Yeah, exactly. You show him that. And then not only that, now you want to show him how God is showing you things. So now what you do on that, you say you got a walnut tree in the back.
I mean a pecan tree.
A pecan tree. So you take that. So now with that pecan tree, now what you do some research on the pecan tree. Say how old do a pecan tree have to be before it start bearing pecans?
Mm-hmm.
And you can easily find that. Then when you say, what's the lifespan of a pecan tree? You want to get that. Now, as you have that information and you understand it, now you can relate him to that pecan tree. Now you can sit there and say, see this pecan tree right here? This pecan tree could be between, you know, if it's already said start bearing pecans, say at 15 years old. Say this pecan tree is, and you know it's more than 15 years. You say this pecan tree is from 20 years and it could be as old as say 300 years old. Then grandma, that tree is 300. Say, yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. And then he'll be here next month. I'll do that.
Yeah. And you do those, and the same thing, you can take olive trees. You got olive trees can live 800-900 years. And you could show him that. And now he can relate that. And you constantly, when you show that, you always got to relate it back to show it to him out of scripture. That's how he knows it. So once he knows that, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You're working towards one common goal. And the common goal is you want eternal life. You take him outside and you show it to him in the Bible. Now you take him outside and say, now look at these ants, especially near the summertime. Look at these ants. These ants, they working. Ants work nonstop. You educate him on the ants. You can
Okay.
give it the ant farm. Say they work nonstop. They work towards one common goal. Your common goal is to get all the food you can to store up for the winter. Why I got to store it up, my grandma? Because when the winter comes, you are being a cocoon, and then when he come to get you, you'll open up, and then you can go. Then you can go back home to him. Where I'm
Oh,
going. That's how you open somebody's mind up. You're gonna everything you do, you're gonna always relate it back, and you can show them scripture on it, because this is what God does. It's the same thing. Okay, have you ever seen big schools of fish?
yes.
Okay, now when you see in the ocean big schools of fish, what eat those big schools of fish? I can show you right there. We can go right to Alaska. What when you see
Whales and all kind of
exactly
things.
eating frenzies come from those whales. Now, you take the same thing is with that, where you got a lot of schools of fish, you got one whale, scoops up thousands. See like this here, see how those whales just eat up that? You can go get video on those.
Yeah.
They do that. Say, you want to tell you what? That's just like the church. All those schools of fish, it's just like all the churches, and then you got all these whales come up and they just have feeding frenzies. Same thing. Ain't no difference. Same thing, but you just see it in the physical.
Mm-hmm.
You move in the physical, even though you're showing him spiritual, he don't know it. But his mind going to be processing it later as he get older, and then he gonna get it, because now he can relate that stuff.
Thank you so much. That's going to help me tremendously. And then that might keep some confusion with me and my son down too.
Yeah, it's the same thing. That's why I tell people, I use the analogy even with where they use the Big Bang Theory. He might come home and say, hey, grandma, they talking about, we came from monkeys and this. Okay, say, I'll tell you what we're going to do. So we evolved from a monkey. So we need to test that analogy. Let's go to the store, and we're going to buy whatever you're going to get. I get something that going to cost, saying what we're going to do. We're going to store this. We're going to put it up, and actually, I'll tell you better yet. I tell you what we're going to do. Let's take the dollar. We're going to take the dollar, and I go buy a box. So we're going to put it in the box. And then let's say we're going to come back to the box in a year, and it should be at least 50 cents. So now when we open the box, it should be $1.50. At least that. You come back next year, don't put something in there, because now you're going to give them a false understanding.
Right.
You open it up, you cut it open, because you tape it up. You cut it open, and it's still $1. You say, okay, well, nothing changed yet. Seal it back up. You do that until that child has got 13, 14 years old. With that same dollar is in there. You just never touch the box. Now, when they come over and they 13, 14 years old, and they might, hey, grandma, you want to tell you what? Where's that box? You had that dollar in there. It's in there. You want to open it up? Yeah, open it up. Okay, what's in there? I already know it's still $1. Okay, the same with the Big Bang Theory. It's a theory that it evolved. Did the dollar ever change? No. Okay, the same there.
Oh, I got to use that. That is so good.
God said he created man in his own image, not in a monkey, and he going to evolve into a man. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
These are things you use. Everything that's just like we'll make a car. Why do you think they invent cars? The same car, now you got a 1990, then you got a 1994 car. They made improvements. Then you got a 1998 car. Then you got improvements. Show me improvements that God made on people. Can you prove that? Because I tell you right now, people say, well, we're more advanced now than we ever been in life. Okay, so if you're more advanced now, go build a pyramid. Because all those blocks, it's the same identical size. Every one of them. Go make a pyramid. And they tried to make a miniature one, and they couldn't do it.
Exactly.
They tried to make one, like I think they were trying to make it at 10 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
You know they couldn't do it.
Right.
They spent $5 million to do it.
I love documentaries because you do learn a lot because they just crazy.
I tell you what, I know I got Brother Duro there, so Brother Duro know what I'm talking. Brother Duro, have you ever been down in Rome at the Colosseum? Man, you just talking. You got to straight shut down.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
You
been down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed those arches that they got inside there?
Right. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna tell you what's stupid. I'm gonna tell you it makes no common sense to me. There's no mortar between them. And those stones weighing 20, 30 tons. My question is this: how did they get them up there?
Right. Right.
Nothing's holding them, and they've been like that. We know for more than 1,000 years. So these are things that we try to tell people, so you can show your kids this, and the kids learn. But they'll tell you, we're smarter now than back then, and that's why I go right back to it. Tell them to build a pyramid. If we're smarter now, so what they do now? They say UFOs made them. We can't figure it out.
Green men.
Yeah, it was aliens did it. We
Must
can't
have been
figure it out.
GOCC.
Huh? Yeah, that's what they that's what they use. They say, hey, they did because they can't figure it out.
Right.
And they do that with everything. They can't figure it out. That
Whatever they can't figure
another
out.
species came from outer space and did it.
Yep, it always something from outer space came and did it because they can't figure it out. So those are the things that you do. So everything that's in the Bible, you can tie it to what you're doing, and you can get your children to understand it. And it's the easiest way to do it is start with your babies.
I'm gonna do that one with the box. When he come here this next month for that week, I'm gonna do the box one first.
Yeah, the same thing you can do. I'm talking about, have you ever seen, well, we call them roly polies. I forgot. Somebody actually told me what the actual name of it is.
I know what you're talking about because I'm terrified of bugs. When you touch them, they roll up.
Yeah, they roll up. Now, the thing is, you can show your kids that. Why do that? Why do that bug do that?
Oh, we can't do the bug thing.
No, I'm just saying, you don't even have to touch it. But the same thing is, you telling the child, saying, now, when you get older, you need to protect yourself from outside activity. And same thing with how they try to do you with books. You take them right to the roly poly.
Okay.
That roly poly rolls by itself. He ain't rolling with nobody else. So say the same way he knows. So when he had another one coming that's in danger, guess what they do? He roll up.
We can do the turtle. Same thing.
Yeah, do the same thing. They protect themselves. So everything out there has something. That's why he said everything God created is good, but for its purpose. But you got Christians say it's good and we can eat it. Ain't no time, nowhere in the Bible says that. But everything of God is good. And it was created
I got that problem too. So how do I handle that? Because I don't eat pork and stuff, and he got to tell their mama he don't want pork. So then they call me.
Okay, the same thing. You got Elder T. He done taught on it, but the same thing is, you can take some of the same stuff, and let's say catfish, pigs, same thing. Like with a catfish, take a catfish. Now you want to sit there and you want to see what is the diet of a catfish. You want to know what the diet is.
Okay.
So now you show them in the Bible. You always go to Bible first.
Mm-hmm.
See, Gentiles gonna do Gentile things. Don't let Gentiles get you caught up. Because he said, well, they eat it. Okay, the same thing. I can tell you more whooping. So don't get me started. I can tell you all kind of whooping stuff that we didn't got beat on. But when we outside and we out there, when the street lights come on, we know to come in the house because our parents told us to come in the house when the street lights come on.
Right.
If the street lights come on and we still outside, They can care
Built.
less how many people is out there. Exactly. They can care less how many people outside. I think Brother Durden got a few of those too, because he's in there like, yeah,
Grandma and granddaddy.
yeah. No street lights, come on, we still outside. They're not trying to get Joey and everybody else. They come and grab you.
Yep. I had 5 sons. Believe me, Elder. I went
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah, so what you do is you tell him he's worried about you. So what you do with that is you say, now, we're not worried about what they're doing. But let's look at this. He said, without fins and without scales. So some people say fins or without scales, and they don't say that.
That's right.
You got to have fins and scales with it. So now you want to take the time. You have to take the time with it. Say, now let's look at this. You show them a fish with scales and with fins. You say, and even take them to the store. You can take them to
That's
the
what I was
store.
getting ready to say. I take him to the store and show him that, because he go to the grocery store with me all the time.
Yeah, and then you want to show him a catfish. Say, now you ask him, don't you answer it? Don't you? Because women, y'all got a bad, don't make me talk about y'all either. Because y'all got a bad habit. Y'all want to help your kid. Don't help them. You let him figure it out. Say, hey, do that catfish have, you don't even got to tell him it's a catfish. You can show him and you might take you some wipies with you. If you can touch the fish or something and tell him, hey, do this fish has scales on it? Yeah. So can you eat this fish? Do it have fins on it? Yeah. Okay, here you go. Because you're going to show him what the fins are.
Mm-hmm.
So now you say, so according to the Bible, can you eat this fish? Yeah. Okay, I can eat the fish. Okay, now take him to a catfish. He probably can't read what catfish says. That's even better. Say, can you eat that fish? Yeah, I guess so. I see I got fins. So you go ahead and you let him become unclean. Touch the fish and see, do it have scales? It's smooth. So do it have scales? No, it don't have no scales. Can you eat that fish? No. So what you need to know is that's a catfish. Now you educate him on the catfish.
Mm-hmm.
Now you tell him what the catfish does. The catfish eats everything on the bottom. And you don't hold back on what he eats on the bottom. You don't hold back that. You tell him, you say
dead people
exactly.
and everything.
It eat. So say if somebody threw something over dead,
Mm-hmm.
it's at the bottom, guess what eats it? Catfish. And this is in the lake. And you want to make sure you separate it. That's in the lakes. That's in the lakes. If a skunk was swimming out there and he drowned, guess what's gonna eat it?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, really? Yeah, but you got to make sure you separate it. We talking about the lakes and the rivers. But now let's go to the ocean. And how people like to eat clams on half shell. They taking all the particles, they eating poop and everything else. Crabs eat everything dead. So if people fall over the ocean, you might, and say, and you put it to him, say like, I might go on a cruise and I fall overboard and they don't find me. And then your mama and them take you out to eat crab and you eat it. Guess what? You just ate some of grandmommy.
I have to do that because he's very intelligent and I want him to be able, like you said, to differentiate the two and show him to read the Bible and then take him. And then that'll be like a activity we can do every day.
Yeah. And see, and he'll learn that. So now he'll know. So when he see clams, he know they eat poop and everything else. He knows this. When he goes and they see crab, just what they are. They roaches. They roaches of the sea.
I told him that one already.
Yeah.
And showed him
you
that
see
one.
that, yeah. So you see that, and what people will sit there and say, well, man, well, I like my roaches. So what people miss is this. All that stuff. I'm over here killing my man.
I like my roaches fried.
Yeah. All you eating something that grew up to eatable stages, that it didn't be eating dead things all the time. They eat everything from the ground. Everything is at the bottom of the ocean. That's what they eat.
Wait, Elder.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I'm laughing because I had this conversation yesterday with a coworker. She's a young lady. She's mid-20s, and Hebrew girl. We was sitting down there with one of the students was having lunch, and she brought up something about she found out about she hadn't ate pork in a while, and she found out she saw something about pigs. Did they eat anything? And I said, yeah. I said, like in the old world in Europe, when a mafia kills somebody, the best way to get rid of a body, they throw them in a pig pen. Everything's gone. He said, you mean? I said, yeah, they eat everything, just like them shrimp, them roaches of the sea. I was breaking it down on her. They eat all the dead stuff, whale poop, whatever falls to the bottom. And she was like, ugh, I won't eat this. And then a Gentile came up and says, well, why does it smell so good?
Yeah, I sit there, I say, hey, bro, you do your thing, man.
But I tell them, but because by me being a shelf and stuff, like I told my grandma, anything got over 8 legs is a bug. You don't want to eat that. Did you want to play with that bug outside? That means you can go outside and get one of the big flying, because I live in Georgia. They got bugs year round. You can go get some of them and put them in the pot.
Roaches.
Yeah, my thing is, see, whatever they won't smell good to them, they can have it. So the same thing is, I done had some, but in my conversation, they sit there saying, well, it's okay. I say, no, that's okay to you.
Mm-hmm.
But don't butt in my conversation. He was saying, well, I'm just saying because I'm just correct. I say, so then don't make me go into the Bible on him. Because then I just make them feel, because then I had one, once I ripped him apart, he said, well, all I know is John 3:16, for God so loved the world. I say, again,
you don't know, right?
You should keep this Bible out your hand. Go to John 17, verse 9. Explain that. He looked at it, oh, well, we got to rightfully do that. I said, no. Why did he say that? Well, all I know is John 3:16. Okay. Why did he say this in John 17:9? He couldn't answer. He said, well, I might need to call my pastor. I said, you can call whoever you want. I guarantee you guys can't answer it. I say, because he's saying something specific.
Right.
But I say, stay out of my business.
Yeah, the book is our business. Stay out of it.
Yeah. I went back to it where, hey, they eat everything from the bottom of the ocean. Everything. That's why they keep the ocean clean. That's why catfish keep the bottom of the lakes and the rivers clean.
That's what they are, purifiers.
Yeah, he created them for that specific thing.
Yeah, the pig is the garbage disposal of the land.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Clean it up.
Exactly.
One thing you can do to keep them from eating pork is pull out a bucket of chitlins.
I ain't
or
never
go around
touched
somebody
it,
cooking
so that ain't
some.
gonna happen either. I
Just
wasn't
say,
picky.
hey. No, let them say, hey, a lot of people in your family are going to cook some chitlins. Take that child there. They're going to say, smell like just going to the bathroom, doesn't it? That's a pig.
Yeah.
They're cooking that. Let them smell that. And that's what it is. Completely.
Yeah, that's deep. Because I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I don't go around people that cook chitlins and stuff like that. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't deal with stuff like that.
Well, what you got to remember is,
it's a lesson, and I never want to touch anything that smell like that.
No,
like that's not the pig going to the bathroom. That's the actual pig.
Mm-hmm.
And they're eating. I'm like, hey, it smelled like this. I know that's what they're eating. That child would never eat a slice of bacon in the house with their mom or dad. Hey, here's some bacon.
Turkey bacon, but like my son, when I was down there in Kennesaw, she asked me, was I going to have dinner with them? And I had brought me some fish. So she's cooking spaghetti. She was like, I just wanted to know because I know you don't eat pork and I'm going to mix pork with the ground beef. But my son don't eat pork. So now you deceiving my son.
Dang.
So, yeah. So now I had to tell my son.
I'm reading somebody posted. I'm reading something what somebody posted. That's go ahead. Yeah, he said I guess he work at sea. He said I pull bodies from the sea. When I got them to shore, baby crabs will crawl out of their ears, mouth, everywhere. You can see where they gnaw on the body.
They doing their job.
Yeah, he got it posted right. I guess he works at sea. I don't know what he does. He just
Right. No, I'm saying the crab is doing his job, but men want to eat.
And they want to eat it.
Yeah.
That's why I say some of them done ate grandma, some of them done ate.
But we used to didn't do that because as I was growing up, see, I'm probably older than all of y'all because I'm 60. I'll be 63 this year. And we didn't grow up eating no crab meat and lobster and all that stuff like that, you know. It was just white people ate stuff like that. And then as time went on, just like they weren't having tattoos, you only see the white guys, you know, with all these tattoos. Now, since they want to be like the heathens, now everybody want to do what they do.
Yeah.
I liked it when we were segregated. I didn't want to be.
I wish I can get this guy. I wish I can get this guy over here. I'm putting the link in there. I wish I can get that guy because I like to hear that one.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm serious. But that's what it boils down to, you know.
See, my brother was a Navy SEAL, so when he said he go to sea and dead bodies and stuff, he said the same thing. Everything, even with some of the fish and stuff, you could cut it open and you will see parts of stuff that, you know, that you shouldn't be eating that fish.
Yeah, well, you even see that's what I like so much about certain fish will only eat live fish.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ones that the Most High telling you the ones you can break off, but it gets to a point to where they tell you what's good. Same thing like they say pork. It's the other white meat.
Mm-hmm.
Elder.
Yeah.
I was thinking of some shots fired at the camps who say Issachar is some other people because those people who they claim to be Issachar love pig.
You want to? Never thought about that.
That's a big staple of their diet. And the Spaniards didn't bring pig to Mexico. The pig was already there.
Yeah. Actually, I never thought about that, but you actually were 100% right. The same thing with Nepali. Because Naphtali, because they say those are, I think, the Hawaiians.
Yeah, that's what GOCC, they flipped the chart a little bit. But yeah, they still love the pork is the big thing over there in the islands, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they surely do. You know, so the main thing is, but then I tell people, you think
and check this out. They weren't on plantations getting served that as slave food. That's what they ate. We got it forced on us.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because they was giving us the junk, and then we sit there and made a delicacy out of the junk. Now we go buy buckets.
Call it soul food.
Yeah, call it soul. And I know a church right now, every year they celebrate that, and they have pig ears, pig guts, pig feet, no, they have it at their church.
That's what me and my sister just started talking about yesterday because I've been listening to you over 2 years. But my thing is, you said to prove anything, pull the Bible. So she's supposed to be holier than thou. So I tell her, we can talk about this. Just get your Bible, King James Version Bible, and we're gonna break this down. And you're gonna read it and get the answer for yourself. No, I believe what my preacher says, and I don't know what God you serving, and they'll be calling me and texting me like, are you finished with your occult class yet? And all this. I said, thank y'all. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and the reason that you're a cult because you go to the Bible.
That's why I say I appreciate. That's why I say I thank y'all. I think y'all appreciate that because y'all living in ignorance.
Yeah, because we quickly called, a cult. I have people, where I've been called, especially by Gentiles, because they good at doing that. Where I flipped this one place completely upside down, and what happened? They said, you guys got to remember this: the devil knows the Bible just as good as anybody.
Yeah.
And they said that because what I did, I had shut down their pastor so far down, he couldn't do anything, and I just was ripping him a new one. And the only way they can combat that is the devil knows the Bible better than anyone. That he wouldn't say he just came through, but as I was walking, but they were sitting there, that's what they kept sitting there saying, because their pastor was sitting there looking like a fool. And a fool he is. Oh, wait, we got some people said, what happened to the 6-year-old? Yeah, well, yeah, they got some video on the child. But I don't know if they pull that child out of that school, because that child wouldn't, well, mine, that wouldn't have that child at that school anymore. I wouldn't do that. That wouldn't make sense for that child to be at that school at all.
And if she have any kind of disorder, they would have known that when the child was registered in school. So they would have put her in a behavior class anyway.
Well, even if so, if she was mentally challenged in any way, that'd be more so the reason why they should get even in more trouble, because you already know she's mentally challenged. And the school would be aware of that.
That's what I'm saying. Before she even registered, they would have known that.
Yeah.
Yes, and sleep apnea really cause a child to kick somebody else.
Yeah, right. Sleep apnea, that means she's been dozing off sleep in class.
No, it means she's not breathing while she's sleeping.
And that too. Yeah.
Oh.
Moments of that. So that's very funny.
Yeah, well, that's what she
That
said.
was sad. When I heard it, I was shaking my head. Wow, sleep apnea.
Yeah. So that's why I say I don't know what the side effects, but the main thing is where they sit there and they completely tell you something, your child is doing this.
That's why I have them call me with my grandbaby, and I ask my grandbaby what's going on. I do not ask a teacher. I say, grandbaby, what's going on? Because the teachers now, they know to call me. They don't even call the parents no more. They call me.
Yeah, because it's a bad thing.
Because you're not going to hit my child.
But I don't see.
But thank you, Elder. I appreciate everything.
No problem. Anytime. And I don't think I'm gonna get that guy in. So, but my thing is with everybody, I will call Orlando, and I will call that Orlando Police Department, and I'll let them know. To where, and the main thing is, most of them are gonna always tell you that they go through protocol, but the same thing is, through protocol, will you do that to your child? Or if someone did your child? And you guys keep that in mind. Because I guarantee you, they won't allow that to happen to their child, especially at 6. It's the same as they see even with Dum Dum that's in office. Now I do know his son that lives with him. That I know that him and old girl got together. He's mentally challenged in whatever way he is. But if you notice how you don't hear no jokes about that child, you see nothing that's being said even about this child. It's challenging anything, which it shouldn't be. To show you the protectiveness to where even with this child, if someone says something, any derogatory about that child, I guarantee you they will come at them with every, what, you got to be the devil, you got to be this thing about this child. However, I want you to look at the same thing with Obama and his 2 girls. And look at how they came at those 2 girls. They took the gloves off on them and went at them with everything. So that's the thing that I want people to see. It doesn't matter, where children, with things that happen, and then they want to get there with the children and everything else. But when it comes to Israel, they're going to treat you differently than what they're going to treat their own. But the thing is only what we will let them do. And the same reason why, probably why Trump feared Middle Easterners so much. See, because the worst thing that you can ever run into is somebody who is not afraid to die. That's the worst thing you can ever run into. And that's the problem with them guys that did the the 9/11. But the things is we so quick to be subservient to them on anything. Because why? We worried about, well, we worried about the job, we worried about, what people will think, we worried about, how they will see us. And at no time you talking about hate, at no time you're talking about racism, at no time you're talking about anything. All you're doing is talking about how you need to protect your child, how you need to protect your nation, nothing else. But they will take that and they will flip it on you and say it's a cult, it's a racist group, it's something, and you haven't portrayed that nowhere. The same thing as they call the group they call the Black Panther. They call that a racist group, but they call it like a terrorist group. What about the KKKs? They just call them a hate group. That's it. Not terrorists, but they're involved in more killings and killing of our people more than anything. But they just a hate group. So people got to watch how they say things, watch how they word it, because no matter what, when people sit there and believe they're going to be created and treated equally than what they are, what their predecessors are, it's not going to happen. So as it continue, and as I continue to go out, and as people sit there and I used to get a ton of emails where a lot of people sit there and say, why we don't put other nations on a lot of our pinups and stuff like that. It's not my prerogative. I tell them why y'all didn't tell that to Seinfeld. Seinfeld never had black people on anything. Same thing as Lucy. Lucy was the biggest racist running around. Why y'all didn't complain to her? So the main thing is when they tell you certain things, you put it back to them, and then the first thing they want to say is, we're not looking at that. We want to look at this, that, and now. No, you got to go back. You correct that back there. And the only way you can correct that back there, don't put Lucy on anymore. She portrayed racism, take her off all networks. To where even her children's children will not make money. Remove them from all networks. But I know they won't do that. Why? Because the driver is money. So since you won't do it, why am I gonna change what I'm doing? So you guys keep that in mind. But always make sure, protect your children, because you got fools like that that's out there. And the same thing, you got sillies that do the same thing. And the main thing is, if we let them do that and get away with that, they feel they can get away with anything. It's literally you just steps away from them going right back to gator bait. So keep that in mind. So with that, if I don't know if anybody have any comments before we go out, but other than that, we'll get ready to go out. I'm checking right now, and I don't see nobody with any questions or anything. So so everybody's good. But just make sure you guys protect your children. That's the stupidest thing you can see. And I guarantee you, I will promise you, you will never see that anywhere done to them, especially by us. Because if it was done by us, I guarantee you, they will not have a job. So you make sure of that. So with that, I say to each and everybody, hey, enjoy the rest of your Sabbath. And until next time, I say shalom to everyone.
Shalom, everyone.